Hello everyone, I'm Metis Balaska and welcome to the stream. So, last time on Fate Stay Night, we learned Saber's true, we learned Saber's true identity. And well, things got weird from there. And now we're a damsel in distress in the castle, and now it's time to escape. So, yeah, could this be a portent to something? Could the final battle with Berserker be at hand? Let us get to the game. There. Whoa. Is this a hallway? This corridor wouldn't be out of place in a museum. Ilia's castle must be massive. A forest? So we really are in the mountains? Are you talking about the forest that's a couple of hours from Miyama by car?
Einzbern の隠し城よ。この城から出た後、何時間もかけて森を抜けなくちゃならないの。今は夜だし、朝日が昇るまでには森を抜けるわよ。
Everyone's gonna be tired as fuck. Tosaka heads through the hallway, reads through the hallway. God damn it! I swear I can read. Not hesitating for a moment. He's probably heading towards whatever door they snuck in through. I figured it was night, but how long have I been here? I thought it was about half a day, but maybe it's actually been a few days. Hannah Charlotte, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. How was your day? Just double checking to make sure I got that name right. Yeah, I did. I'm good. You? Ah, I see. Sorry.
いえ、そのようなことはありません。イリアスフィールに捕まってこれだけの時間が過ぎたというのに、シロは無事でした。体は囚われの身でも、心では負けなかった証ではないですか。
My day's been good. Well, that may be true, but...
ええ。イリアスフィールは少女に見えても、アインツベルンの魔術師です。もし彼女に屈していたのなら、シローはシローではなくなっていたでしょう。
One would likely say that would lead to a bad ending.
私とて、その可能性を考慮しなかったわけではありません。最悪、あなたは死んでいるものと覚悟して、この城に足を踏み入れたのです。だからここでシローと再会できてよかった。マスターが無事な姿を見せているのですから、私も負けるわけにはいきません。
I feel the same. I couldn't stand not knowing Saber was safe or not.
ちょっとやる気あるのかっていうのよ。
She's like, stop flirting and let's get going.
もたもたしてると本気で先に行くからね。
Tosaka pops her head from the bend of the corner to yell at us. Crap, this really isn't the time for us to chat. Let's hurry, Saber. I break into a run, urging Saber to do the same. Everything hurts, but I grit my teeth and keep going. I drive my aching body on, following Tosaka. As I half-limp run, Saber brings up the rear. I almost read that as half-imp, and I was going to be like, what? She must be in a lot of pain, too. She's pretending not to be, but she's in no condition for this. Saber, if it's hard for you, I want to tell her I'll give her a helping hand, but I stop myself. Saying that will just make Saber digger he'll then be more determined not to accept help. All I can do is keep an eye on her. Besides, we're not in any condition to do so. When Saber's too exhausted to complain, I'll just carry her. Honestly, Saber can be incorrigible sometimes. She has to be forced to even take a break. And so, with Tosaka leading the way, we managed to get to the exit. Hey, you said this was an exit, but this is the entrance, Tosaka.
何当たり前のこと言ってるのよ。玄関っていうのはそういうものでしょ。入る時も出る時もここが一番手っ取り早いんだから。
She's not wrong. Tosaka hurries down the stairs. Well, I'm in no position to complain. Sarah and I head down the stairs and into the hall. It looks like a lobby. All we have to do now is head out through the big door at the other end of the hall, and we're out.
よし、ここまで来たら大丈夫。問題は森に出てからだけど、まあ夜だし、闇に乗じて国道まで出られるかな。イリアスフィールが戻ってきて、シロがいないって気づいたところで、後の祭りよ。あいつが帰ってくる頃には朝になっちゃってるしね。何よ、シロ、その顔。いかにも服そうだけど。
I mean... Again, dude's got speed. Nothing. Just kind of remembering how ballsy you are.
変なところでおかしな確認するのね、あなた。
Shiro neurodivergent confirmed. Well, I was more getting at her just walking to the enemy stronghold through the front door.
まあいいわ。とにかく外に出ましょう。帰り道は覚えているから迷うこともないしね。
We head towards the entrance. A long, narrow hall extends from the lobby, and at the end of it is an enormous door. The hall is unbelievably about 30 meters long. I think over a year now? It actually might be nearing 2 years, I think. I'm reminded that we're standing in an actual castle, but in the next moment...
なんだ、もう帰っちゃうの？せっかく来たのに残念ね。
Oh, shit. Ilya shouldn't be here, but her giggling voice echoes up and down the hall. I whirl around. Everyone skids to a stop. The instant we see our enemy, we know we're dead as soon as we turn our backs to them. Yeah, this ain't good. Tosaka's voice trembles. Back at the other end of the hall, we see her standing at the top of the stairs as we just descended. She shouldn't be here. Ironically, it's a similar arrangement to our first meeting. Ilya stands above us with Berserker behind her. Berserker's presence is overwhelming. Like I said, Berserker's fast for the size. They probably ran around and then jumped in through the window. Now that I can assess the servant's strength, I understand what a monster he really is. We can't do this. Even if Saber was at full strength, Berserker is just too powerful. It wouldn't even be a battle. That monster can't be beat, not in a fight. If we were going to beat Berserker, we have to figure out how to do it without fighting him. In other words, if we want to live, we need to stay away from Berserker. Ilya's voice is cheerful and bouncy. She's smiling that same smile I saw the night we met. Innocent but merciless. She won't settle to squash us like bugs. She won't settle to squash us like bugs. Shouldn't that be settled with? Shouldn't settle with squashing us like bugs? And that's when I realized we're not going to escape, period. No matter what I do, I can't stop Ilya. Even if I try to draw Ilya's attention, that won't let Tosaka and the others escape. She giggles. But we don't have time for these kinds of games. We need to run to the entrance the second we find an opening. Even if we know we'll never get out, even if we know we'll never get an opening, all we can do is wait and hope. Even in this situation, Tosaka takes a step closer towards Ilya.
戻ってきた気配はなかったけど、もしかしてずっと隠れてたのかしら。そうよ。私はどこにも行っていないわ。私はね、ここからあなたたちの道化ぶりを眺めていただけ。そう。外に出て行ったのは偽物ってわけ。ええ、あなたたちが来ることは分かってたもの。私は主人なんだから。 お客様のおもてなしをしないといけないでしょ。
I don't know. I'm still holding on to the theory that they just ran around and then jumped through the window. It's funnier that way. Right then, the giant vanishes. I'm not sure if it jumped or just moved. The next thing I know, Berserker appears in the middle of the lobby, creating a whirlwind. Dude created a turn of wind just from jumping. This is the end for us. If we retreat towards the entrance, he'll slice us in half with that axe sword the moment we turn our backs to him. But we're dead if we stay here too. Our only other option is to challenge that walking mass of death, however futile it'll be. The pale girl raises her hand as if performing a ritual and looks down on us. Her declaration is equal parts murderous intent and delight. Berserker's eyes light up. Before Berserker had moved moved only as Ilya ordered, but now she is free to act, and she identifies us as enemies. Something's making a grinding sound. Tosaka? Tosaka grits her teeth hard, as if in regret.
じゃあ聞こえる？
Tosaka speaks quietly, without turning.
少しでいいわ。一人であいつの足止めをして。
She just ordered her servant to his death. Archer doesn't answer.
バカな。正気ですか、リン。アーチャー一人ではバーサーカーにはかなわない。私たちはその隙に逃げる。アーチャーには私たちが逃げ切るまで時間を稼いでもらうわ。
Tosaka continues giving her orders, ignoring Saber. Her voice is cold, devoid of any emotion. Archer, who had been silent as if pondering something, his eyes fixed on Berserker, gives a silent nod.
賢明だ。リンたちが先に逃げてくれれば、私も逃げられる。単独行動は騎兵の得意分野だからな。
She takes a step forward as if to protect Tosaka. Berserker doesn't move. Ilya's laughter echoes from above.
びっくり。そんな誰とも知らないサーバントで私のヘラクレスを止めるって言うんだ。なんだ、案外可愛いとこあるのね、リン。
Neither Tosaka nor Archer are in any position to object. They know better than anyone. Archer steps forward. He's empty-handed as usual. Tosaka looks at Archer's back. There's nothing she can say to him. She must know her orders are absurd. They amounted to telling Archer to die so we could escape.
アーチャー、私。
Tosaka is about to say something, but
ところでリン、一つ確認していいかな。
Archer interrupts her, speaking so nonchalantly that it seems out of place.
いいわ。何？
Tosaka turns towards Archer, her eyes downcast. Archer's gaze stays locked on Berserker.
まあ、時間を稼ぐのはいいが、別にあれを倒してしまっても構わんのだろ。
God damn! Archer the fucking Chad. Like, I know I'm supposed to buy you time, but you won't complain if I beat the crap out of this guy, right? It sounds completely ridiculous.
アーチャー、あんた。ええ、遠慮はいらないわ。ガツンと痛い目に合わせてやって、アーチャー。
そうか。ならば、期待に応えるとしよう。
Archer walks forward. Only 10 meters until he reaches Berserker. At this distance, it could close on Archer instantly.
バカにして。いいわ。やりなさい、バーサーカー。そんな生意気なやつ、バラバラにして構わないんだから。
His voice is hysterical. Tosaka turns her back, not paying attention. Hold on a sec. I was just checking something. Tosaka turns her back, not paying attention.
行くわ。外に出れば、それで私たちの勝ちになる。
Ah, yes, the great secret technique of the JoJo clan. Fucking bolt. Run away. Tosaka grabs my hand as well as Saber's and runs. Saber doesn't object. She follows Tosaka. I start running towards the entrance, leaving Archer behind. But then, from behind me, he calls out to me, his back still to me. I let go of Tosaka's hand and turn around. In the lobby, now a good ways from me, I see Archer's back as he faces down Berserker. Berserker draws near. Archer is still empty-handed, but he doesn't take a single step while he watches his enemy close in. Archer raises one hand. I have no idea when he got it, but he's holding a short sword now. I see him start to shift. Berserker's sword sends a rush of wind ahead of him. I turn and run, not staying to watch the clash. Tosaka and Saber are already at the entrance. I run and I don't look back. The sight of the man in red made it clear that I needed to go. We hurry through the long hallway and out through the gate. Hard as it is to believe, we were really in a castle, and an old one at that, deep in a forest. The whole place is surrounded by trees, and as far as one can see, I can't see any buildings or even the sky in the distance.
3 時間もすれば国道に出られるからそれまで走って。
3 hours. Honestly, I'm not sure I'll last that long. I'm not tired, but pain gets worse with every step. If I could at least rest, my fever might break, but we don't have time for that. Tosaka sounds every bit as hurried. She'd given Archer his orders. As composed as she looks, I can see the regret weighing on her. I know, they're going to catch up. Saber, let's hurry. Saber's eyes are downcast, but she breaks into a run with us. We follow Tosaka as she slips between the trees. Saber's breath rattles loudly in her chest as she runs beside me. It's too dark for me to see clearly, but I can tell she's struggling. I can't ignore it any longer. Saber loses her balance. I sweep in from the side and take hold of her before she hits the ground. That's it. You can't go on anymore, Saber. What are you talking about? Experienced or not, you're still in pain now. Come on, you need to admit you're struggling. I pull her arm. Saber hardly waves anything anyway. I gather her effortlessly into my arms. The injured carrying the injured. No questions, just rest for a while. I'll be the first to fall. If I have to keep watching you struggle like that. Saber struggles in my arms, but her resistance is weak. Her thin arms have no strength in them as she pushes my chest. It pains me to see that that's how weak she's gotten. I never imagined Saber could be too weak to push away from someone picking her up.
何を考えているのですかシロ。このようなこといくらマスターといえど許しません。
Saber struggles against me, her face beet red. I can't really blame her. This must be a terribly embarrassing position for a knight to be in. But now isn't the time to worry about that. Lies, you're too weak to even push me away. This is an order from your master. If you don't listen, I'll use a command spell.
卑怯な。こんなことでウェイジを使うなど、そんな無意を容認できるはずがない。
Then keep quiet. If we don't hurry, Tosok is going to leave us behind. Saber must have given up as she reluctantly falls silent. That's good enough for now. As long as she's not struggling, I can carry her and run at the same time. Spots burst across my vision. As I run, my blood pumps faster. I try to fight the nausea burning at my back, at the back of my throat, gritting my teeth with every step. My breathing is erratic, but I do all that I can to hold the pain at bay. There's a reason for that.
シロ、殺してください。やはり私も走りますから。
The moment she sees me struggling, Saber looks up at me, concerned. I can't stop now. Don't underestimate me. Carrying you is nothing. Compared to a broken stove, a girl's as light as a feather.
ですが、
Just shut your mouth and get... is give and take just not in your vocabulary? You save me plenty, so it wouldn't be fair for me not to do this. I need to pay you back for everything you've done, or else I can't have you protecting me tomorrow.
いえ、そんなことはないのですが、私の方こそこれでは釣り合いが取れなくなる。
Fine by me. That means I'll only have to do something like this once. And it just means I'll only have to do something like this once. Besides, I'm starting to get motivated now. I am powered by horny! Hormones full drive, baby! I take a breath and pick up the pace. Tosaka knows very well that I have Saber in my arms, but she keeps taking us through narrower and narrower paths. It's a good thing Saber is so light, but following Tosaka is a trial all on its own. If you keep talking, you might bite your tongue, so I'd appreciate it if you stopped.
それではマスターの指示に従います。
Oh, I bit my tongue! Fuck the timing. Saber relaxes in my arms. He was tense earlier, which made carrying her harder. Now it's a bit earlier. Now it's a bit easier. Bit earlier. What the fuck? I swear I can read! The problem now is whether Saber and I will make it to our destination. I don't know how long we've been running. Maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour. Running doesn't take a lot out of me. I've been training hard and Saber is so light. But right now, there's something wrong inside me. The more I move, the dizzier I get. I feel like I'm about to throw up. I would have understood if I'd been bitten by a snake and the poison was doing a number on me since we're in a forest, but this is nothing. This pain won't bring me to my knees. It's just the heaviness of my chest and the need to throw something up. It's nothing compared to the heat I'm feeling in my arms right now. Saber's closed her eyes as if she were sleeping. She's not resisting. She's relaxed. Her body is growing hotter by the moment. Her clothes are damp with sweat, even though it's the middle of winter. And she's tucked her head down to hide her labored breath from me. This is bad. At this rate, it'll be a repeat of that one night. The night Saber collapsed from exhaustion after using her noble phantasm against Ryder. Saber's condition hasn't changed since that night. Was she able to talk? Was she able to talk now because she was just in a brief window before she disappeared? I run in an attempt to prevent that from coming true. I don't care what happens to my body. I move my feet as fast as I can, hoping that we can do something as long as we make it home. I nearly trip and skid to a stop, leaning my back against a tree. I taste blood, so that's where the nausea is coming from. None got on Saber since it was just a little bit, but the source of my nausea burns in my chest. Well, depending on how you look at it, this is actually better. Saber would be pretty upset about the waste of food if I threw up. Actually, knowing Saber, she might cut me in half. Yep, that's funny. A bit of levity lends me just a little more energy. Okay, break's over.
無茶をするのはここで終わりです、シロ。
Saber? She wasn't asleep. Saber speaks up from where she lays in my arms. What do you mean I'm done?
ですから、シロは一人で逃げるべきです。その体では私を連れて行くことはできません。
What the hell? I can't. I just tripped. This is nothing.
あるわよ。そんな死人みたいな顔で何言ってるんだか。
Hey, Tosaka has come back for some reason.
強がるのは勝手だけどね。いくら夜の森だからって口元の血ぐらい隠しなさい。それじゃあセイバーに心配されるのも当然よ。よかった。ユンがいるのなら話が早い。でしょうね。セイバーの言いたいことはわかるわ。時間もないことだし、そこの大バカにもわかるようにさっさと言ってやって。
Saber nods.
リン、私をここに置いていってほしい。私を連れていては逃げきれないし、何よりもう長くは持ちません。
I can't really insist she is being ridiculous. Neither of them needs to remind me how much worse Saber's getting. Saber won't last long. I have the sense she won't make it until morning, the way things are going.
そう。で、シロはこのままセイバーと心中する？
Of course not. I've got no plans to die or to let Saber disappear. If she's going to disappear, I'll use my command spells or whatever.
オーケー。それならいいわ。じゃあ両方とも解決しましょう。セイバーを助けて、ついでに3人でこの森から脱出する。今後の方針はそれで決まりね。
And we do that by having sex. Wait, what? Huh? My brains feel like mushy tofu. Tosaka says the damnedest things and always so casually. Hold on a minute. Yeah, I'd really like to do that, but we can't.
いいからこっちに来て。言っとくけど、私も簡単にセイバーを死なせる気はないわ。
I just found out I got a thing for women too. You fucking kidding me?
ええ、この機会は逃さない。あなたにはその責務を果たしてもらう。シローもいいって言ったし、そうしても構わないわよね、セイバー。
Tosaka looks towards Saber meaningfully. Saber doesn't answer. Instead, she averts her eyes awkwardly. Once we pass through the exceptionally tall trees, something unexpected comes into our view. Ruin?
ここならしばらく身を隠せるでしょ。来るときにね、アーチャーが見つけておいたのよ。万が一の時の隠れ家にしようって。
Trees choke the ruins. Only one of the rooms on the second floor remains more or less intact. The windows are miraculously undamaged, and the brilliant moonlight casts the room in its pale glow.
割合綺麗じゃない。もしかしたら最近まで誰かが寝泊まりしてたのかもね。
Nothing phases this girl. Tosaka steps over the rubble and pats the bed near the wall with both hands.
シローこっち。セーバーを寝かせないとまずいでしょ。人に抱かれているのって結構体力使うのよ。
Oh yeah, I'll be right there. I lay Saber on the old beat-up bed. And now she's got tetanus.
どう？苦しいセーバー。まだ体を動かすのには問題ない？ええ、シローがここまで運んでくれましたから、まだ体を保っていられるようです。
But the bed feels slimy.
そう。ならあとはこっちの問題だけか。あれから1時間、イリアスフィールが追ってくるにしても、もう少し時間はかかるわ。探すのに手間取れば朝方ぐらいまでは隠れていられる。
Oh, she's just reminded me of something. We've run as far as these ruins. But what happened with Berserker and Archer? He stayed in the castle to hold Berserker off. It's already been an hour. Archer should have retreated from the castle by now. Tosaka doesn't respond. She only presses her right hand into her heart, like she's clutching something precious. And that's enough to tell me what happened to Archer. Tosaka's command and spell is on her right arm. A master and her servants are connected. In the same way Saber was able to detect when I was in danger, a master can sense when their servant is alive or dead, whether their servant is alive or dead. Tosaka, he...
まあね、足止めだけでいいって言ったのにさ。
And he couldn't even buy us an hour, little bitch.
あいつ、最後までキザだったな。
Silence falls between us. It feels like the silence will last forever, but then...
けど、無駄になんかしない。アーチャーを失った以上、バーサーカーはここで倒す。
I'm gonna fisticuff the bastard myself! The sound of Tosaka punching her hand into her fist breaks the silence.
悔やむのはここまでよ。悩んでいる暇があったら行動するのが私の心情。ここまで来たらあなたにも覚悟を決めてもらうからね。
Huh? What kind of decision?
決まってるじゃない。イリアスフィール、バーサーカーを倒す覚悟よ。セイバーを連れてたらこの森からは出られないし、彼女を自然に回復させるにしたって時間がかかる。どのみちイリアに追いつかれるわ。わかる？私たち3人揃って森を出るにはバーサーカーを倒すしかない。それができなければ私たちもアーチャーの後を追うだけよ。
Defeat Berserker? That monster? Defeat that invincible whirlwind of death? I can't imagine that being possible. If we fight, we die. Tosaka should understand that perfectly herself. If her plan is to defeat him, even knowing that? No, that's wrong. What am I saying? Tosaka's not saying we can beat it. She's not so blindly optimistic. Yeah, got it. We're not going to beat him to win. I should have realized that from the very beginning. We have to beat him, don't we? That's all there is to it. If we don't want to die here, we have to beat that monster.
そういうことよ。けどそれほど絶望的な状況ってわけでもないわ。いくらバーサーカーだってアーチャーと戦った後なら何らかの傷を負っているはずよ。私だってとっておきの宝石を全部持ってきてるし、セイバーさえ回復すれば打開策の一つや二つは作り出せるわ。逆に言えばね、バーサーカーが傷を負っている今こそイリアスフィールを倒せる最大の機会だと思わない？
But is there a way to heal Saber? This isn't the best place to treat her.
セイバーの治療に場所は関係ないわ。セイバーは単に魔力切れで弱っているだけだもの。一定量の魔力さえ補充してあげれば、あとは以前通りの能力を発揮してくれる。
Tosaka's explanation reminds me of late last night. She said that Berserker's magical energy was mostly gone. Saber's magical energy was mostly gone. Berserker's magical energy, what the fuck? Yeah, I totally summoned Berserker, guys, not Saber. Which is why, to restore Saber's magical energy, I can totally win if I deny facts, right?
セイバーを助けたいなら、セイバー自身に人を襲わせて魂を食べさせるしかない。なら答えは一つよ。レイジを使いなさい、エミヤ君。それで最悪の事態は避けられるわ。
I have 2 command spells left. I'll use one to make Saber attack people so she can devour their souls to replenish her magical energy. If Saber won't recover, we can't beat Berserker. If she can't defeat Berserker, then he'll kill us. I look at Saber where she lies. We're just letting her suffer at this point, but no, I still can't agree to let Saber attack innocent people. Besides, aren't we like really far from the nearest crowded area? We're not exactly in the middle of Times Square.
ええ、今回は私も同意よ。
Huh?
これが他の場所だったらその提案をしたでしょうけどね。でもここはイリアスフィールの岩の中、人の魂なんかどこにもない。あの城の中にはバーサーカーとイリアスフィール以外の誰かがいるかもしれないけど、それを探しに行くのはミスミス七に赴くようなものよ。
For Saber to eat souls, we have to be out of the place, so that's not going to happen right now. Tosaka nods. I'm relieved not to have mistaken not to have to make Saber attack people. But then how are we going to, then how are we supposed to replenish Saber's magical energy? So what do we need to do, Tosaka? This whole problem comes from me not being able to provide Saber with magical energy. We have a threesome!
方法はあるわよ。その昨日ってもう一昨日に説明したでしょ。サーバントに魔力を分け与える方法は共有の魔術とそれ以外にわずかな方法しかないって。あの時はまあこんな状況になるとは思わなかったから言わなかったんだけど。
I tried to think back to our conversation that night. Now that she mentions it, she said something like,
召喚時にセーバーとパスが通っているはずだからまだ方法があるかもしれないけど。
I think that's what Tosaka said. I remember now. You said something about a path, and that's where some other method, and that there's some other method besides magecraft, right? Or did I get it wrong? At the time, I was shocked to learn that I had to make Saber attack people, so I might have misheard her. Tosaka, is there another way?
まあね、私がサポートできる範囲で2つ。この状況だと荒っぽい方になるわ。いい？セイバーの魔力不足は素人のパスが不完全だからよ。彼女を回復させるにはこのパスを完全な形に通し直すしかない。
That's probably the best solution, but I don't know how to do it. Saber's summoning was messed up from the start. If I had been able to make a connection to supply her with magical energy, we wouldn't be in this mess.
話自体は簡単よ。素人セイバーを共感状態にして霊的なパスをつなぎ直すだけ。契約破棄や最小間以外にパスを修復するためにはそれしかない。そのためにセイバーにシローの魔術回路を移植するの。
Transplant my magic circuits into Saber?
セイバーとシローのパスを新しくするには霊的に重要な器官を移植するしかないわ。
So we're going to perform impromptu surgery right here and now. Lie down, bitch. Just takes out a carving knife. Not even a scalpel.
サーバントとマスターが聖杯の力を借りているのなら、それに匹敵する強い結合を生み出さないとパスは通らない。そのためにはマスターの魔術回路をサーバントに移植する。それくらいやらないとシローの力がセイバーには届かないから。
Magic circuits. An indispensable mechanism for mages that uses odd to activate mana. It's the core of a mage's existence, and without it, the magical energy that serves as the source of a mage's power can't be created. To a mage, their magic circuits are more important than life itself. They see them as the thing that gives their existence value.
サーバントの回路をマスターに移植するのは危険すぎるわ。ゴーストライナー、それも英霊の回路は死にゆく人の体に移しても強烈な拒絶反応しかもたらさない。そうなると残された手はシローの回路をセイバーに移植するしかないってこと。でもそれは張り巡らされた神経を引きちぎられることと同じよ。そうなればその負担は。
And unfortunately, I'm out of that anesthetic, so... Entirely on the one and offering the transplant. Ripping out nerves is the same as amputating fingers or even arms.
待ってくださいリン。それはあまりにもシローに。そうしないと誰も生き残ることはできない。あなたなら分かっているはずよ、セイバー。
I gulp as quietly as I can. I have to get my priorities straight. We don't have time for me to hesitate when what needs to be done is clear. Just for the record, the original scene this is a change from the original script. I was making sex jokes earlier, but that actually happened in the original. But I think this was the solution they did in the anime adaptation. We don't have time for me to hesitate when what needs to be done is clear. Tosaka, can you make this work?
成功させるわ。でも成功させることはそのまま安全につながるわけじゃない。失敗させるつもりはさらさらないけど、成功すればシローの魔術回路はセイバーに奪われる。むしろ失敗した方がいいんじゃないかって思えるほどの喪失感と苦痛を生むでしょうね。もし魔術回路を奪われれば、それはシローが。
It would mean that my secondary nerve, my missing magical circuits, would be like a piece is torn from my psyche and would damage the spiritual body's integrity, creating a fatal flaw in me as a mage. I will never regain that missing piece as long as I live. My hopes of becoming a full-fledged mage from experience alone will die. Once I lose my foundation, my magic circuits, I'll always be incomplete no matter what. I nod, for my own sake. Is that all? I'd rather save Saber. Okay, let's do it, Tosaka.
早っ。決断が早いのはいいけど、本当にどういうことなのか分かってるの
？I do. You already told me.
分かってるわけないじゃない。いい？セイバーを救うために、私はシローに魔術師として死ねと言っているようなものなのよ。なのにどうしてそんなに反論もしないでうなずいて。
Because I don't have any objections. I'm agreeing because it's the best plan we have. You should be more confident in your own plan. Seeing you panic like that is making me worry. And if we don't do this, Saber can't fight Berserker, right?
そうよ。そうだって言ってるじゃない。
See, and it's not like we haven't made any sacrifices. We have to fight and win, since he bought us time. His stance told me to go. I didn't like him, but if he was willing to risk his life to protect his master, Tosaka, I can't back out now.
いいわ。始めましょう、シロ。
Yeah, are you ready, Saber? We're going to transplant my magic circuits into you.
それがマスターの判断なら。
I hear neither affirmation nor denial in her voice. Her eyes seem filled with regret. I guess Tosaka is going to prepare us for the transplant. I don't know the procedure, so I just have to leave it all to Tosaka. But why is she sharpening a rusty kitchen knife?
まずはセイバーからね。 白は魔術回路をオンにしたまま、できるだけ心を乱さないように待機していて。
I close my eyes and switch over the magical nerve in my body. Thanks to Tosaki's instruction, I've been able to turn my circuits on and off effortlessly. A red flower entangled the white flower. Tosaka climbs up to straddle Saber, who lies still, then begins to run her fingers along the curves of Saber's slender form. We still have to bring the bisexual energy in here. Tosaka, what are you doing to Saber?
何って、セイバーにもリラックスしてもらおうと思って。セイバーが力を抜いてくれないと成功率が下がっちゃうし。
Oh, okay. Sorry. Continue.
ええ、どうも。それじゃあ服を脱ぎましょうか、セイバー。
What? What? Shiro and I became one!
いちいち驚かないの。脱ぐって言っても一部だけよ。魔術回路の移植は精神と体の融合よ。できるだけ接触を多くして遮蔽を少なくしなきゃいけないでしょ。
Mm-hmm. No one in the series is straight. Tosaka is completely calm about this. Saber and I are the only two who are flustered about this as Tosaka begins undoing Saber's collar.
待ってください、リン。それでしたら自分ででき。腕を上げるのも辛いくせに強がらないで。はあ、それともエミヤくん、マスターの責務としてセイバーを自分で脱がせたいとか。
You... I want to call her a fool, but I snap my mouth shut. All jokes aside, I'm not suited to a task like that. If I had to do it, I wouldn't be able to maintain my composure. Sorry, I'm leaving everything to you.
よろしい。そういうわけだから白も脱ぎなさい。は、上着脱ぐだけでいいから。下まで全部脱いだら殺すからね。
I can't tell if she's joking or being serious. Not gonna risk it. It seems like I need to strip to connect with Saber, though.
白、お願いです。しばらく背を向けていていただけないでしょうか。
Oh, got it. Tell me when you're ready. I turn away and fold the shirt I was wearing. I try to distract myself and hide how nervous I am by folding the shirt up neatly, sleeves and all.
大丈夫、セイバー。はい。だいぶ楽になりましたが。
I need to calm down. I try to get my fear under control as I find myself dreading how painful and difficult the magical circuit transplant will be, and how it might fail. This is just a step along the path. I should be more worried about the fight with Berserker that comes after this.
いいわよ、白。
Okay. I forget to breathe. In case you needed any indication, this used to have sex scenes in it. I personally can do without the sex scenes, so whatever. I'm fine without them, really. But I've seen her bare skin before. I've seen her bare skin before, but I've never seen Saber like I'm seeing her now, and as she lies in bed. It must be all this tension in the air. It's not just me. Saber is acting weird too. I acted normal when I saw her bare skin. She acted normal when I saw her bare skin before.
シロ、こっち。ここに上がってセイバーに覆いかぶさって。
It's like someone else is controlling my body. I'm walking towards the bed, but it doesn't seem real to me.
セイバー、同調までは私がやるわ。それからあとはあなたにお願いするけど、持っていきすぎないように注意して。少なければ少ないほどシロの負担は減るから。わかりました。お願いします。リン。
I have no idea what they're saying. Right now, it's all I can do to breathe. When we get even closer. We're so close, our skin is almost touching. I feel Saber's weak breath on me. I support my weight on my hands. My body is so close to hers. The chant begins. I try to focus my consciousness on what's happening, to clear my mind so I can sympathize with Saber. I only see Saber's face. She's already in a meditative state. I can't keep my eyes open forever. I reluctantly close my eyes. My senses begin to fade. It's the same floating sensation as when I create my magic circuit every night. The feeling of my ego, my mind, leaving my body. This time, though, it's running in reverse. Normally, I feel that sensation coming from my back. But right now, my consciousness is escaping from my chest. Shira, put down that burning rod right now! The five senses are functions associated with the physical body. The moment my consciousness leaves my body, I lose my sense of hearing. But my ears are more sensitive to Saber's breathing. Her slow, steady breathing begins to speed up. I hear the heart pounding in my chest. Blood rushes through my veins. I leave the vessel known as Shiro Amiya and slide into her body. My consciousness sinks deeper into her. My self swirls and converges, invading her as a solid crystal. Pulsing hot breath. Our hearts, not bodies, touch.
Shiro.
Her voice rings out like a bell, and in response, my essence escapes my physical body. My senses are transformed. I have no hands, no legs, no self, but I continue in this bare state. Time seems to flow backward. Instead of flying, I feel like I'm being left behind. I accelerate. The body, persona, order, law. I become an arrow, shattering every barrier behind me, destroying the boundaries that separate one person from another. Sparks race along the circuit. I freeze in the ecstasy of reaching the speed of light. This is cool looking. I honestly prefer these visuals to the original sex scene. Like, oh my god, this looks awesome. They say a person's life flashes by in a single instant. The flashbacks are cruel. Every instant passes by in the blink of an eye. I can't look at it directly, so I find myself going emotionally numb. So this is a mental journey. I'm reminded of just how comforting our physical bodies, our anchors, can be. I visualize the foundation of magecraft. The human operation is quantified. Hundreds of institutions, millions of joints form a circle. The endless complex patterns are in fact just a highway formed by simple repetition, all heading into the vastness of the future. It's like a vehicle of some kind heading toward a darkened city of light. Here in the present, my thoughts pass by at the speed of light. Goddamn flashing lights. What happened? No, there we are. Eternity passes in an instant. I pass through the last boundary. I break through, and I am inside her. I see a glimpse of Ultria's magic circuits, not my own. The changes are extreme. The speed and light of the world vanishes all at once. Here it is dark. Here it is heavy. The pressure of it pushes against my bodiless form. The air is so thick I may as well be underwater. My body sinks, feeling only the agony of being clamped in a vice. The path is deep, and I can't see the bottom. I feel myself fall through the thick twilight, plummeting deeper into an even denser darkness. It seems impossible that just a moment ago I traveled 10,000 miles in the blink of an eye. Now, even going to a single mile seems like it would be an arduous, eternal journey. I feel neither light nor hope. Are these really Saber's magical circuits? Magic circuits? I keep wanting to call them magical circuits. They're completely different from mine. The shape of the circuits, the number of pathways, all that differs from person to person, but this is unlike anything else. This isn't a matter of scale or ability. Saber's magic circuits are fundamentally different from a mage's. The path rumbles. Every time it does, my tiny self nearly shatters. I don't know what Saber's magic circuits are like, but I can tell the sympathizing magecraft is functioning properly. This is not a failure. The dark, heavy pressure of the place doesn't seem like Saber, but it's also not an impure place. It's brimming with life. The flowing air is blood. The flowing air is blood and a swirl of magical energy. I realize I've forgotten to breathe. I haven't needed to. Sinking is painful, but it's not life-threatening. I look up into the darkness I've sunken into, but I seem to get past the point of no return. I can't see anything in this darkness. I'm submerged gradually, but the distance ahead is infinite. The air grows even heavier. My rate of descending slows yet again. I squint into the darkness. The seemingly endless road does have an end. I feel the heat of Saber's body. I feel her every breath, so close. The final destination. I reach the source of Saber's magic circuits, the center of her mental world. But what I see is beyond my capacity to understand. It's the core of a star. I've reached the embodiment of some impossible scorching heat, breathing from the depths of the earth. The fiery red surface swirls, and then there's a splash, like stagnant mud. At the bottom, there lurks a giant shadow. Its fiery eyes fix on the tiny intruder. Whether its master gave the intruder permission to enter or not, it's still a foreign invader. It's in the face of this core. My own consciousness is barely a mote of dust to disturb its function, or a piece of wood to feed its fire. I gulp, even though I have no throat to swallow with. I take in the entire scene. These are Saber's magic circuits. A heart beyond anything human, so different from ours, which we imagine as lines and circuits. This is the reactor core. If a mage's body is a machine for creating magical energy, then what I'm seeing is an entire factory. But the core is inactive. The key that should activate the core, the spark of power the spark of power to bring the whole thing to life, has been cut off. Despite the overwhelming ability this core has to produce massive amounts of magical energy, it lacks the initial charge to activate itself. It floats overhead, a stagnant sea of fuel. No matter how much undiluted magical energy fills this endless space, it's useless. It needs to ignite. Even a tiny spark could do the trick. So long as the pathway for magical energy is connected, the core will roar back to life. And to do that, something beyond human knowledge awakens. Pathways running over the lake of magical energy begin to swirl. Red air explodes upward into a raging pillar. Is this what it's like to stand in a thundercloud? That is so cool! So intense is the roar of the raging waves that I don't even properly hear it. In the same way, something too massive can't be properly seen. The roar is its own kind of silence to me. What appears at the heart of the blazing core is the embodiment of every threat mankind carries in their heart. It has been said that the king is a red dragon that symbolizes Britain. Phantasmal blood runs in their human veins, the child of a sacred star. A dragon, a ruler, the symbol of so many phantasmal species, objects of both awe and fear, the pinnacle of all beasts, appearing at times as a demon, at times as a god. This is what lies in Saber's subconscious. Its otherworldly form suits the servant said to be the best. That is so cool! The cauldron opens. Vicious fangs are all I see. There can be no resistance. Humans, which pale to insignificance before this, could never defend against it. No human intelligence could ever conceive of a way to escape. Oh, it must be famished. It devours its prey, which would normally seem as inconsequential as motes of dust, with its bloodshot eyes. Oh, goddamn! And I am at a complete loss for words. I wonder, why do we not eat living metals? It's obvious. We cannot bear to see our food alive. Living meals. We prefer fresh food, but rarely do we eat anything alive, because we feel it's cruel for our food to suffer. In other words, killing the meat we consume before we eat it is our way of preserving its dignity. A scream of rage tears its way from my throat. I forget who I am and roar like a beast. I try to appeal to the beast. The hatred builds within me. My only resistance is bearing my emotions. I beg for mercy like a crucified sinner as I'm ground into a meal. My consciousness grows hazy, muddled. Every purpose and meaning in my life falls away. Any hope of retaining my sanity is long gone as creation itself. The pain, the pressure, they're far, far too much. And then, when I came to see it only as a monster, even once I learned of this hell, I believed I could endure it. The image of Saber, her head hanging low, comes back to me. I recall the meaning of this pain. That meaning drives me forward. It is a little painful reminder that what I came here to do. I draw in deep breath and let go of my resistance. It's not the dragon's fangs I should be fighting, but the pain twisting through me. I'm not here to run from the pain. I'm here to save her pain, to live up to the trust she's placed in me time and time again. And so, I'm here to give her the best thing I had, and so who has no hope, to give her the best thing that I, who have no hope of fighting, can give. The pain is indescribable. I can't reach out to my ground. I can't reach to my ground down conscience. I can't reach out to my ground down consciousness. I hone my awareness like a blade, silently, as if I were asleep. Here, eternity is but an instant. As long as I can endure this pain, even for an instant, my consciousness will remain. Alright, then. I won't let myself feel an ounce of fear. I shall dedicate this pain to you, who will be the one to fight. My hormones are greater than the pain! The pain instantly fades. The red dragon is gone, and my consciousness gradually floats back to the surface. I am weightless because am I weightless because I lost something? As if I'm floating back to the water's surface, I feel myself again rising up above the reactor. But wait. There's something I want to check before... Ah. It's so warm. A dull throbbing hum issues from the reactor as it burns with golden light. The elaborate magic circuits shine with the rainbow hue and begin their circulation. The fire is lit. I may be an untrained amateur of a mage, but today I've filled my role as her lord. I surrender my body to the wind and float upwards. I catch a glimpse of an instant memory. A figure holding a sword, and a figure standing in a grassy field as it dances in the wind. Which one did I find reminiscent? Transplant Shiro's magic circuit into Saber. I feel the sunlight on my eyelids and slowly open them. Dazed and confused, I check over my own body. My arms and legs are fine. I don't see any wounds. Maybe the pain faded the moment I was able to endure it. My physical wounds and even the mental scar seem to have been healed.
Shiro.
I hear a weak voice from under me. Huh? The feeling of her soft skin immediately makes me realize who's speaking and the position we're in. Ouch! Saber is lying on the bed with her blouse in disarray, while Tosaka is sleeping, cradling her knees to her chest. Tosaka may be fine, but Saber has been under me like this the whole time. Morning, Saber.
おはようございます、シロ。
We exchange awkward pleasantries. Saber slowly gets up and rearranges her blouse. Crap, we're so embarrassed we can't even look at each other in the eye. It's almost like this was originally a sex scene or something. You can already get up, Saber?
はい。魔力の供給を受けられるようになりましたので。
She seems to be back to her normal self. When I carried her here last night, she was so weak. It seems like she might disappear at any moment, but that weakness is gone now. I see. That's a relief. So the magic circuit transplant worked.
はい。ですからその服を着ていただけませんか、シロ。その格好のままだと私もなぜか話しづらい。
She has gained our horny. I look down at myself. Oh, right. Yeah, you're right. I hastily reach for the neatly folded shirt. For my neatly folded shirt. That was as nice of Tosaka to fold it up like that. Wait, no, I did that. Why did I fold it so tight? I vividly recall the last night's ritual. I connect with Saber, and Tosaka transplanted my magic circuits deep within Saber. Saber looks like she's back to normal, but what happened to me? Tosaka warned that my body and mind may not be able to handle the loss of magic circuits, but I don't feel much damage, nor any huge sense of loss. I was a little scared, but I checked on my magic circuits myself. The idea of seeing for myself just how much I've lost is terrifying, but we're heading into battle against Berserker. I need to understand my own condition. Huh? I don't know how to explain it. The overall function of my magic circuits feels sluggish, but there doesn't seem to be any obvious damage. I was chewed to pieces, but my magic circuits are still intact. It looks like I'm still able to do my strengthening magecraft. I see. So that means I see in the magic circuits I rarely use were the one Tosaka took. I only activate it's about 1 to 4 circuits when I do strengthening. Since I can't do large-scale magecraft anyway, I never fully activated all my since I can't do large-scale magecraft anyway, I've never fully activated all my circuits. So she transplanted the circuits I don't use to save her. I close my eyes and assess my situation. It seems this won't affect my strengthening magecraft. But the sluggishness, like I'm wading through water, is because my capacity for magecraft, my capacity for magecraft is decreased. In exchange, though, I feel that I'm connected to something more important deep inside myself. I can't tell exactly where it's from, but there's a faint line that connects me to me and Saber. I gained something truly important in exchange for my lost circuits. Saber speaks up from somewhere behind me.
シローの回路を得る際に必要最小限にとどめるよう努力はしました。ですが、その最低限の量ですら人から得るには多すぎた。もしやシローに消せない傷跡を残してしまったかと思うと、謝罪の言葉も見当たりません。これは私の不覚です。私が書くも力足らずでなければ、シローには。
That's not true. You have nothing to apologize for, Saber. This all happened because I couldn't supply you with magical energy in the first place. That's solved now, though. Now I can give you the magical energy you need without a problem. Yet now I can finally proudly say that I am Saber's master. Don't worry about my magic circuits. I didn't use them all anyway. I even feel better without them, actually. By the way, why are there 5 of you? Saber's expression remains clouded. Crap, I never know what to say at times like this. Saber's recovered, and I survived even and after the loss of some of my magic circuits. Saber's magic circuits, the dream of light and wind, and Saber in her youth. And on top of that, we spent the night touching, skin to skin. Calm down, calm down. That was a ritual for our survival. I need to calm my mind, and I don't. If I don't focus, I can mess up during battle. The sleepy rhythm of Tosaka's breathing halts, and she grunts. Looks like Tosaka's awake now. Yo, morning, Tosaka. I see Tosaka's hair shift, and then her head tilts up. She is not a morning person at all. She doesn't look like her usual sharp self at all. Thanks, Tosaka. It worked.
私の魔力の補充はできました。ですがその代わりシローに。
No, I only lost about 30%, so don't worry. I can make do with what I still have.
3割ですか。
I thought I took everything, motherfucker!
なんとか最初にとどめたというのに、それでも3割とは。我がことながら、なんとごおよくな。
Greedy, you say? I know you were hungry, but I wish you had a little better manners. Tosaka joining helps us dispel the awkwardness between Saber and me. Now we're back to normal.
そう、じゃあいいわね。
Tosaka yawns and gets to her feet. It's almost time for the battle. Somewhere in that forest, Berserker and Ilyas will await. If we don't defeat that hurricane of death, everything we did last night was for nothing. The connection that is created between Saber and me deep in our hearts. To protect what we created, we'll have to defeat the most powerful enemy of all. The battle comes to an end. The two fought fiercely, and it ended with the disappearance of the Red Knight. Holy shit, look at this damage! Now a shadow of its former glory, the reception room is in ruins. The floors are cracked and broken. Many of its walls have been knocked down. The stairs have collapsed, and broken marble is scattered across the floor. There is hardly a trace of the reception room's original form. Some might even say time itself has been stolen from the space. After such vast destruction, the scene bears no resemblance to what it was just 2 hours ago. A sculpture, well suited to such destruction, stands in the middle of it all. Standing over 2 meters tall, it bears the crude likeness of a man, as if roughly hacked out of stone. It hardly bears mentioning. This is Eliasville's servant, Berserker. The giant doesn't move. Its entire body is splattered with red, with several holes torn through it. Not a single inch of the giant's body isn't wounded. 1. Both legs appear on the verge of collapse. 2. A massive gash on the neck. 3. Arms practically hanging from the elbows. 4. Something has pierced from its shoulder. Something has pierced it from shoulder to groin. 5. Blood gushes from its chest. 6. The belly is torn open. Berserker is not moving. He will. It's clearly a corpse. The battle itself lasted less than an hour. The result, unexpected. Berserker's master is beside herself. She should be picking off what remained of her prey, but instead she just stands there, staring at the devastation. Her voice is a low mumble now. The battle came as a humiliation to her. By the way, you actually get to see this battle in the anime. It was awesome. It was probably one of the most awesome fights in the anime. Her servant is the most powerful. Among all heroic spirits, maybe one or two could compete with Heracles, the most renowned hero of all time. And yet, some unknown archer defeated him. The Red Knight fought on equal ground with Berserker, and in the end even killed Berserker, which nobody else had even thought possible. And for that, he can never be forgiven. To Ilya, it is as if she had been stabbed in the heart by a passing insect. She prided herself on being the strongest master. For her to lose the sword to the sword she should have casually trampled must be unthinkable. Remember those words. The statue doesn't answer. It has neither the time nor the need to do so. Berserker stands still, focused on healing itself. Even for him, this is an unusual battle. His noble phantasm nullifies any attack. So long as the attack is not of the highest possible class, it won't so much as scratch him. As such, he rarely sustains any wound. In his own time, none could harm him after he attained greatness. But here, now, he's been hurt 6 times. Archer delivered 6 fatal blows. Each of his attacks was of a different sort. That is because even the strongest attacks won't work twice on Berserker. Strange as this battle was, the truly bizarre part was, if Archer was a hero with so many different abilities, his identity should have been obvious. But even after his body was pulverized, Archer's identity remained a mystery. What was really surprising was how he carried himself in a way that seemed contradictory as a servant. A faint light flickers in the pupils of Berserker's eyes. Were Berserker a normal, rational servant, he would probably feel pretty bad about how this battle went. Whatever his identity might have been, Archer was a rare and formidable adversary. If only Berserker's sanity hadn't been taken from him, he would have fought to his heart's content, and maybe even enjoyed himself. She is really mad. Ilya's voice echoes in the shattered hall. Whatever tiny embers of rationality might have been returning to him are immediately snuffed out by her voice. He's just Berserker now. His role is to overwhelm and annihilate his master's enemies. Berserker doesn't need to answer. So long as the wound doesn't kill him, he'll heal in moments. But to completely recover from this takes as much as 3 days. The giant silently objects. It's almost instinctive. At least when it comes to a fight, Berserker has instincts similar to Saber's. He can certainly destroy his enemy easily enough, but if Saber has recovered enough that she can use her noble phantasm, that will be a different story. Berserker will not fall to a mere sacred sword, but there is always the small chance of something going wrong. His instincts tell him that he should be completely prepared before facing his servant, the servant.
つもあれば十分じゃない。あんな奴らゴッドハンドなんかなくたって敵じゃないもの。それとも何？ここまで私たちをバカにした奴らを見逃してやるっていうの？バーサーカー。そうでしょ。誰一人として私の森からは逃がさないわ。うん、リンとセイバーはバーサーカーにあげるね。殺すなりもてあそぶなり好きにしていいわ。
Ilya hops down from the stairs. She walks through the rubble to the exit without a moment's concern for Berserker, bloodied as he is. But suddenly, she stops, as if remembering something.
さあ、狩りを始めましょう、バーサーカー。だけど、セイバーのマスターは簡単に殺しちゃダメだよ。シローには一番ひどい死に方をさせてあげるんだから。
The murdered child is back. I'm scared. Ilya heads out to the castle, giggling happily. The sun is about to rise. Ilya knows the forest like the back of her hand. She won't have any trouble finding her prey, even if they try to hide. Her targets have only minutes to live. Just going to get set up the save file. And I don't know why, but I'm forced out of the ruins. Tosaka kicks me out, saying that girls have to make some adjustments and changing and stuff like that. Damn, what is she talking about? Men have things too, you know. I lean against the wall as I grumble. I guess I sound like a sore loser, and that's exactly it. I remember, and then I try to shake off my desires. I can't think about that right now. If I keep lingering on my memories with Saber, I'm a dead man. More than anything, it would be rude to Saber. I made contact with Saber to save her. I shouldn't have any other thing. I shouldn't have any other feelings for Saber. What a crock. It's such a pathetic excuse. I don't even I don't believe it. I can't forget what happened with Saber. But I need to, for now. Honestly, I don't have time to worry about that kind of stuff. Our concern right now is how to fight Berserker. All right, I should be doing whatever I can. He told me that there at the end. I think back to Archer. I never warmed up to him, but every word he said stuck with me. I stare at a tree branch. There's only so much I can do. I may not be much help, but I'm going to do whatever I can, as best I can. For starters, I snap off a nearby tree branch. Then I try to find other straight branches. Tosaka's voice reaches me in my search. I head back to the ruins, carrying the branches I collected. Well, the only other problem is whether I can act anything approaching normal around Saber after looking into her heart, however briefly, and certainly not having sex with her.
こちらです、シロ。リンから話があるそうです。
I guess I was worrying over nothing. Saber is her usual self. And like me, immature as I am, she's probably just approaching this pragmatically. Oh, yeah, I'll be right there. Damn, I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm so damn dumb, being the only one blushing over this. So I'm going to do my best to keep my composure.
来たわね。それじゃあ作戦会議を始めるけど、会議って言っても口論し合う暇はないわ。バーサーカーを倒す方法も限られているし、とりあえず私の話を聞いてもらえる？
Saber and I nod.
作戦としては単純よ。まともな方法じゃバーサーカーとは勝負にならない。勝つためには奇襲。仕掛けたのなら反撃させずに一撃で首を落とすのが絶対条件だと思う。
同感です。バーサーカーと打ち合ったところであれには致命傷を与えられません。倒すのならば打ち合いの外から消すべきでしょう。
Besides trading blows, are you saying we need to attack Berserker before you realize he's being attacked? That's what ambush means, Shiro. Well, sure, I think it's reckless to go toe-to-toe with him, but that just sounds reckless. He's not the sort to just let something like that happen.
ええ、バーサーカーに気づかれずに近寄るなんて都合のいい作戦はやらないわよ。あっちにはイリアスフィールがいるんだもの。少なくともセイバーとシローの気配は簡単に感知されるわ。私は気配を隠せるから大丈夫だけど。
I don't understand the logic, but I get the sense Celia can detect me and Saber. And if Tosaka is the only one that can conceal herself, you're saying that you'll be the one launching the ambush, are you?
当然でしょ。一番に狙われてるのはシローなんだし、この中で一番動きやすいのは私だもの。隙をついて後ろからバッサリやるのは任せなさい。
You make it sound so easy, but you sure as hell know it won't be.
そりゃそうよ。だからセイバーに隙を作ってもらうの。セイバー、体はどのくらい回復した？
通常戦闘ならば問題はありません。ですが、宝具の使用は避けるべきです。今の魔力では、おそらく使った瞬間に体を維持できなくなる。たとえ使ったとしても純度は落ちていますから、バーサーカーを倒せるとは思えません。
ええ、それで十分よ。セイバーにはバーサーカーと打ち合ってもらうわ。もちろんシロも一緒で、私は隠れて様子を見る。イリアスフィールから見れば私はおまけみたいなものだし、いなければ二人を見捨てて逃げたとか思うんじゃないかしら。
はあ、それはまあ可能性はなくはありませんが。
可能性が低いならあげて。シローはイリアスフィールと仲がいいみたいだし、うまく話せば騙せるんじゃない？
Tosaka looks at me meaningfully. I may have some objections, but I'll hear you out. If I tell Ilya that Tosaka fled, she'll believe me. She doesn't doubt what people tell her.
だとしても問題はあります。私がバーサーカーと対峙するのはいい。ですが、シローに同じことはさせられません。 シローではバーサーカーの一撃に耐えられない。
誰もシローに殴り合えなんて言ってないわ。シローはセイバーから離れて後方支援。セイバーだけじゃバーサーカーを押し切るのは難しいから、危なくなったら助けてあげて。
バカな。シローはリンのように魔術に長けてはいない。援護といっても何を。
それはシローが考えて。
In other words, this is going to be a fuck around and find out sort of situation.
もっともバーサーカー相手だとマスターが介入する余裕なんてないわ。シローだけじゃなくて私だって手を出せばセイバーの足を引っ張るもの。それでも一人だって遊ばせる余裕はないの。シローが殺されればセイバーもおしまいっていうのは分かってるけど、ここはそうしてもらうわ。初めから賭け事みたいな戦いなんだから。
それはそうですが。
Saber makes a face and falls silent. Since Tosaka has gone quiet too, she must understand how reckless her proposal is. I can't blame them for being worried. The night I met Saber, the night Berserker attacked, the only thing I managed to use to defend her was my own body. There's a strong possibility that we're headed towards a repeat of what happened that night. So while it may be best for me to distance myself from the battlefield, I'm not going to do so unless they force me to. I know, I'll try to think of something to support from a distance. Was it really that much of a surprise? I just have to support Saber from a distance, right? I'll come up with something. I grab the tree branches I gathered earlier, as I say that. I'll heat these sticks up and shove them into my back. Shiro, no! They're just the right length, the exact right kind of flexibility. This is the first time I've done this kind of strengthening. But I don't think I'm wrong in principle here. Basically, I just need to layer my strengthening until it turns into something substantial. Besides, he had something like this, so that so I can use it as a reference. On top of that, magical energy has been flowing through my body for a while now. All I have to do is repeat my usual process. I analyze its basic structure and change it. I analyze the material's composition and reinforce it. Starting from the branch, my result should be his bow. But something's missing. I need to think of this from a standpoint of creation. If I want to make something as close as possible to the real thing, I need to envision everything I can about it, down to the smallest detail. I open my eyes. The warp branch was the right shape, but something wasn't. Crap, it's not even close. It's ugly, distorted. And yet, I can tell it will work fine as a bow. Now I just have to create an arrow following the same concept.
Shiro, 今の
Yeah, I think I got the hang of it after the incident with Shinji. You said it yourself. Don't strain yourself.
そう。まあ、手段ができたのはいいことだし、今はいいわ。話を戻すけど、とにかく2人にはバーサーカーと戦ってもらう。私はあらかじめ木に登って上から様子を観察してるから。 でセイバーがなんとかバーサーカーに隙を作ったら、死角である頭上からとっておきの宝石を使い切ってバーサーカーを串刺しにする。作戦としてはそれだけの単純なものだけど。
Tosaka turns her attention to us, checking whether we can and whether we have any questions.
宝石というのは輪の魔術ですか？だとしても生半可な魔術ではバーサーカーの体には届きません。彼を傷つけるには最大純度の攻撃でなければならないのですから。
分かってる。要するに A 判定の攻撃でないとダメなんでしょ？
That should be we need an attack. As she says this, Tosaka pulls several jewels from her pocket.
その宝石は
私が物心ついた時からために貯めた貯金みたいなものよ。これ一つで A 判定の大魔術を即座に発生させられる。10個あったんだけどね、一つはあなたに使っちゃったわ。
そうか。あの時の魔術ならば確かにバーサーカーは防げない。彼には私のような大魔力はありません。魔術であってもそれが A 判定ならば問題なく貫通する。
そういうことよ。本当は小出ししていこうと思ったけど、悠長なことは言ってられないわ。バーサーカーには特別に2つか3つは叩き込んでやるんだから。
Tosaka puffs out her chest confidently. However, hey, aren't you being a little too stingy?
同感です。私が言えることではありませんが、せめて半分使い切るぐらいの気前の良さが必要だと思うのですが。
何よ、そんなの人の勝手でしょ。あなたたちね、私がどれほど苦労してここまで貯めたって思ってるのよ。
Saber and I protest silently. Tosaka's life depends on this operation too. We can't let ourselves fail just because she's being stingy.
分かったわよ。半分使えばいいんでしょ、使えば。何よ、言ってみただけじゃない。私だってそれくらい分かってるんだから。とにかく作戦はそれだけよ。あとは私が隠れられて、シローがセイバーの援護をしやすい場所を探さなくちゃ。イリアスフィールが来る前にいい場所を見つけましょう。
Yeah, we can't stay in these ruins anymore. And like Tosaka said, we need to find a place where we can all lie and wait for Berserker. But before that... Okay, checking the thing. Okay, doing a tally. 1, 3, 4. We didn't do that one, so still 4. Did I screw this up? One, 3, 4. I think we did this one in the castle, so let me check that. Yeah, we did the one in the castle, so that's 5. So that's 5. So if we do this one, we'll get 6, which will take which we'll probably need. I do have an earlier save just in case. But this is going to be where this is going to be where I save put in another save, because this is essential for getting another bad ending. However, I am going to take a little bio break. Give me a sec, guys. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I'm worried about Saber. I wonder if Saber's really okay. She says she has no problem fighting, but wouldn't it be hard for her to go up against Berserker when she's so weak? Or am I supposed to be more concerned about a noble phantasm? That's what Saber said. That means Saber will disappear the instant she uses that attack. Saber. Before we go out to fight, can you promise me one thing? Okay, well, yeah, I don't want you to use your noble phantasm, no matter what happens. It's important, and I don't want you to die, even if it means we defeat Berserker.
分かっています。私も宝具を使う気はありません。今の魔力でバーサーカーを倒せるとは限りませんし、何より消えてしまっては聖杯を手に入れられない。
She's as direct as ever. It's a relief to hear. Okay, yeah, that's the Saber that I know. It's good to hear you being so, insanely calm.
それはどういう意味でしょうか、シロ。
Nothing at all. Let's just get going. Tosaka will get upset again and if we keep her waiting.
そうですね。リンはシローに文句を言うのが趣味のようですから。
And with that kind of weird observation, Saber turns to leave the ruins. But then, she trips on a chunk of rubble and stumbles forward. I quickly grab her hand from behind. Come on, watch your step. You'll need to be careful in this mess. Huh? Saber seems to be blushing. Saber, what's wrong? Did something happen?
いえ、そういうわけではないのですが、手を握られていると、その。
Saber's face turns a deep crimson. She must be she must look like I did a few minutes ago. Ah, I find myself blushing too now. With her hand in mine, I suddenly remember the sensation I felt with Saber and quickly pull my hand back. The two of us stand rigidly, saying nothing. Let's head out. We better get moving. We don't have much time.
そうですね。急ぎましょう、シロ。
We head out after a bit of awkwardness. Once we're outside, we'll never come back here. I look back towards the room for the last time and then turn back to the battlefield. We reach a clearing in the forest. The sun is rising and a white layer of morning mist blankets the forest. Compared to the much denser forest around us, this is a good vantage point. Tosaka, this place doesn't seem bad. This place doesn't seem bad.
そうね。条件はいくらかクリアしてるけど、見晴らしが良すぎるのがどうもね。これじゃあ私はともかくセイバーとシローの逃げ道がないもの。
Tosaka is such a perfectionist if she's even considering escape routes.
他を渡りましょう。大丈夫。まだ時間はあるわ。
Tosaka returns to the forest. But Saber stands motionless, staring off into the distance.
セイバー、何してるのよ。早くしないとイリアスフィールに。
Well, a chill runs up my spine. I could never forget this feeling. I can't see him or feel his presence, but the sudden weight of the air pressing down around me is definitely coming from him. Holy shit, that's scary. Ilya's voice echoes from somewhere in the forest, beyond the mist. From deeper in the forest, a dark figure approaches. Maybe it's because as we're in a clearing with an open view of the sky, but it feels like Ilya is peeking down at us from up in the clouds.
やば、あいつもうシロを見つけたの？まずい、ここじゃ視界が広すぎる。何よこのスピード。これじゃあ2分かからない。ちょっと何のんびりしてるのよ2人とも。ここじゃまずいって言ってるでしょ。早く場所を変えないと。
Tosaka grabs our hands, but it's too late. No, this is fine, Tosaka. We're lucky enough that the three of us are able to fight together. We can't ask for anything more.
バカ、それがまずいんだってば。ここじゃ横幅がありすぎるの。セイバーだけじゃバーサーカーを止められないし、いくら離れてたってあんたも間合いに入っちゃうじゃない。
I know you're concerned for me, but we're all in danger here. Besides, we can't escape now anyway.
それはそうだけど。
Again, I remind you! This fucker can move! Are you ready, Saber? We're fighting Berserker here. Saber nods quietly.
わかったわよ。簡単にやられたら怒るからね。
If you die, I'm going to kill you. Tosaka apparently convinced, disappears into the mist. When she goes into action, and she acts quickly. She darts into the forest and then scrambles up a tree. They're coming, Saber. Are you ready?
あなたも戦いが始まったら決してここから前には出ないように。何があろうとバーサーカーをここには近づけさせません。
The mist wavers. Out of the morning fog, a dark shadow spreads across the clearing. A mad warrior, led by a pale girl, steps into view.
意外ね。てっきり最後まで逃げ回るとばかり思ってたのに。それとももう観念したの？お兄ちゃん。
It is about 40 meters from me. We face each other from opposite ends of the clearing.
セイバーは治ったんだ。そっか。だから逃げ回るのはやめにしたのね。欲しいな。そんなことで私に勝てると思うのは可愛いんだけど。残念ね。シロはここで死ぬんだもの。
Her giggles echo in the forest. Apparently that ticks her off. Saber, still standing beside me, is practically vibrating with animosity. She might launch herself forward at any moment.
もうつまんないな。ずいぶん無口になっちゃったのね。もしかして殺されるのは怖いの？そんなのもったいないよ。今命乞いをすれば私も許してあげないこともないんだから。
Tosaka is probably in position. She'll probably want to be as close as to the center of the clearing as she can. There's a spot where the tree branches overlap. It should be sturdy enough to support her weight.
そう。あくまでそういう態度なんだ。なら、もうおしゃべりはここまでだね。リンともども殺してあげ。待ちなさい。リンはどうしたの？シロ。
She's definitely not hiding in the tree. Fuck! I have to give it to Berserker's master. She knows better than to overlook any details. Tosaka's gone. We stopped working together a while ago.
別行動を取ったの？そっか。セイバーを連れてるシロは足手まといだものね。リン一人ならもっと遠くに逃げられる。
Well, there you go. She's probably out of the forest by now. I doubt you'll catch up to her, even if you go after her now. Again, the dude has A-rank speed, or A-rank agility. He's fast as fuck.
そうかしら。この森はアインズベルンの結界よ。誰が入ってきて誰が出ていったかぐらいはわかるんだから。あれから外に出た人間は一人もいない。リンはまだ森にいるわ。探し出すのはこの後でも十分よ。
That's a relief. If Ilya only detects who's going in and out of the forest, she doesn't know where Tosaka is now. That, and she believes my story pretty easily. Ilya is a truly merciless master, but she is too merciless to have a chance. But is she too merciless to have a chance to start over? Ilya, before we fight, there is something I want to ask you. Would you consider quitting being a master and ending this battle?
できないよ。おじいさまの言いつけだもの。バーサーカーがいる限り、私はアインツベルンのマスターなの。イリアは他のマスターたちを殺して聖杯を持ち帰らなくちゃいけないんだから。それに もう一度だけ聞くのはこっちだよ。私はアインツベルンの当主だからあんな言葉二度は言わないわ。けどシローが答え直すって言うんならちゃんと聞いてあげてもいいんだよ。
She sounds almost hopeful. But as long as I have Saber with me, I can't agree to what she's asking. My answer isn't changed. I'm Saber's master. If you're going to quit, if you're not going to quit being a master, I'll defeat Berserker and make you quit. I look at both Ilya and Berserker and say that. In that instant, the air in the clearing tenses with a sharp snapping sound.
そうなら本気で殺してあげる。その思い上がりと一緒に粉々に砕いてあげるわ、シロー。
What? What the heck's that? There's some sort of inscription appearing on Ilya's face. No, it's not just her face. It's a huge command spell covering her entire body, and I can even see it at this distance. It's so much more massive than the ones we have.
遊びは終わりよ。蹴散らしなさい、ヘラクレス。
Ilya's voice is completely lifeless, and in response, the giant behind her howls. His roar shakes the earth. His scream thrashes like he has lost his mind. His abilities grow even more powerful, like his body is swelling with deformed masses.
そんな理性を奪っていただけで凶暴化させていなかったというのか。
I'm not surprised Saber is shuddering. Even I who can't gauge the warrior's strength, can tell I shouldn't be getting anywhere near that monster.
近寄る者はみんな殺しちゃえ、バーサーカー。
The air explodes. The giant bellows a roar so different from its anguished wail and leaps. Saber! A streak of silver surges forward in answer. Berserker lands in the middle of the clearing. The earth shakes. Saber intersects Berserker as if stopping a falling meteor. It's so freaking cool! It's like watching a mythical battle unfolding in front of me. In a forest shrouded by the morning mist, two shadows clash relentlessly. Berserker is simply overwhelming. Berserker swipes are like whirlwinds. His downward strikes are like waterfalls. Even Saber wouldn't survive a direct hit. But Saber deflects as every attack without faltering or hesitating. She swipes aside the barrage of strikes raining on her like a raging storm. To fail would mean being cut down on the spot. To Saber, each of the rapid blows seemed to strike with her opponent's full might. The clash of swords echoes around the clearing. Saber has greater reach. Berserker is faster. Berserker has greater reach. Berserker is faster. Berserker has more stamina. All Saber can do is parry the titanic surges of wind from Berserker's swings and mitigate the sheer strength, all just to avoid being cut in half. Berserker is like a broken jackhammer. His blade spins in all directions, annihilating everything in its path. Just getting in reach could only be fatal. There would be no hope of escape. They'd be caught in that whirling blade and ground to dust. No normal human would have a chance against that. And if getting close can only mean death, then the only option is fleeing. But Saber steps into the whirlwind and doesn't retreat. She'll be shredded to she'll be shredded to pieces. The sword sparks off her, slowly chipping her armor away. Standing in the middle of that vortex, she could be dead in a heartbeat. I can only hold my breath. In ancient times, heroes who fought dragons and demonic beasts must have been all like this, like her. They know perfectly well how vast the gap between them is, but they bet everything on a 1 in a million shot. A seething mass of violence beyond anything humans are capable of. They just defended it until a single opportunity presented itself. Many warriors died without ever seeing a miracle, the miracle they were waiting for. That's exactly what this battle is. It's a glamorous, eye-catching battle, but it only ends one way, with Saber's defeat. Each blow chips away a little more at her. Berserker's roar shakes the ground. The sheer whirlwind of his frenzy churns up the atmosphere and sends Saber flying as she tries to defend. Each time Berserker's attacks chip away a bit of Saber's armor, she's thrown to the ground, but instead of remaining down on her knees, Saber charges right back at Berserker every time. But she's at her limit. Saber's breathing is labored. Her movements are visibly swollen. I swear I can read. There won't be any opening. In a few moments, Berserker's titanic weapon will shatter Saber's sword. I grip the bow I made. I'm going to... Just checking. Okay, this one doesn't lead to a game over. Provide backup. The moment Saber goes flying, I fire at Berserker. This won't hurt him, but it should at least get his attention. Gah! The arrow hits Berserker squarely on the temple, but it doesn't even leave a scratch. I can't even get his attention. The giant does not block the arrow. He doesn't even seem to care. She's gone full murder, child. Elia's laugh echoes through the forest. Damn! I can't do anything. Saber's about to collapse right in front of me, but I can't do anything. I'm powerless. No matter what I do, I can't hurt Berserker, and I'm just distracting Saber. A slash. Saber sinks into the ground, all the way to her ankles, as she parries the massive blow. The parrying blade is swift but heavy. The axe sword strikes down from overhead. The brutally powerful weapon and grazes Saber's armor as she dodges, then tears up the earth itself. My jaw is clenching so hard my teeth could well shatter. Is there really nothing I can do? I can't protect Saber. I can't fight alongside her. There's nothing I can do. All I can do is...
ならば、せめてイメージしろ。お前にできることなど、所詮その程度でしかないのだから。
Archer said something like that.
外敵などいらぬ。お前にとって戦う相手とは、自身のイメージに他ならない。
Yeah, that's what what was he saying again? It wasn't one of his typical snide remarks. What he said had weight and importance to it, and I need to understand. Then again, probably everything he told me was a warning I shouldn't ignore. Saber goes flying. This time it's not because she leapt away to evade. Berserker hit her this time. The hurricane slash strikes Saber in the side. She stumbles. Coughing violently, she grips her weapon tighter and turns back towards Berserker. The giant doesn't miss the opening Saber finally provides. Stop! My voice doesn't reach them. Shouting is useless, and trying to use the bow like Archer would be pointless. Don't I understand yet? What can I do? What should these hands of mine be doing? That's right. What do I need to save Saber? I can't use a bow. A spear won't pierce him. Having a weapon just like the enemies is no solution either. To go up against that giant, a sword to cut through a mountain of stone, an opulent sword, sharper than sharp, that will never dull, a king's sword, able to cut down enemies in a single blow, like that golden sword I saw in my dream, a sword fit for her. My head hurts. I try to fight down my nausea, but I never take my eyes off Saber. Strangely, the longer I watch Saber fall, the more this indescribable pain insults me. Saber and Berserker seem to be moving in slow motion. I see a row of switches line up. Saber coughs, and for a brief second she arches in pain. Berserker smashes his axe sword down towards her with all his might. It's as if there's rows of nails in need of hammering down. It's like he's knocking down dominoes. The switch flips. Saber! Berserker's axe sword cuts Saber down. She's going to die. The strike split Saber splits Saber in half at the waist, and pieces of her flesh go flying. No, that's not what's happening. The only thing that's going flying is pieces of armor. Berserker is only split Berserker's only split Saber's armor. Saber has left herself open to bait Berserker into a single huge swing, and with every ounce of strength she has, she rushes at him. A black roar rips through the air, but he can't escape now. Saber's right in front of him. She shifts her grip on the sword and on her sword and darts in closer, then swings with all her might. I don't believe this. Saber's attack hit home, and the giant, who had seemed so immovable, flies back several meters. And then comes the true attack. She must intend to release the attack from as close as possible. Tosaka jumps down from above and throws her jewel at Berserker as she falls. Shards of ice rain on Berserker. Among those shards are 3 giant spear-shaped icicles, each packed with enough magical energy to blow an entire mansion to smithereens. Ilya, quiet until now, suddenly screams at her servant. She must have sensed the danger, but it's too late. Saber's spear... The ice spears aren't falling. They're accelerating towards Berserker. He can't possibly dodge. A 1 in a million opportunity, Saber's desperate attack perfectly coordinated with the ice bullet attacks. It has more than enough magical energy to kill Berserker. However, the hack sword slices through the air. Even as Saber drives him back, he switches a single-handed grip to his axe sword and shatters all 3 ice shards. Blood splatters the clearing. Maybe it's his one arm swing, but he fails to completely destroy the ice, and and when it strikes, it severs one of Berserker's arms. That's not all. The ice freezes over Berserker's arm, completely restraining it. But it only got one arm. What? Saber cries out. It's a reasonable response. Berserker catches Tosaka with his good arm as she falls. Tosaka's face twists in pain. Berserker will have no trouble crushing Tosaka with his hand. Tosaka! I run. I don't care if I drag them down. It doesn't matter if I can't do anything. I'm not going to let Tosaka die. Saber must be too weak to even stand, but somehow she gets on her feet. Tosaka must be in agonizing pain, but she stretches out her hand and as she hangs her head downward. And then... she grins wickedly. Everyone gasps. Saber, me, and even Berserker must have all frozen in our tracks. One person can only have so many tricks up their sleeve. She knew this might happen, and she hadn't even bothered to tell us. A little bit of white there I'm seeing. Oh no, that was the thing. Berserker squeezes harder around her. He's a heartbeat too late. Up with your head, motherfucker! 4 bullets of pure light streak towards Berserker. 4 bullets, 4 gems. 4 rapid shot, it's at the most extreme close range. That has to be enough to end the Dark Mad Warrior. Or rather, the attack perfectly, completely snuffs out his life. It must have blown Berserker's head clean off. The blood spatter even reaches me 10 meters from where Berserker stands. There's kind of a lot of blood in the mess, but I don't think she overdid it. Our opponent was a monster. Berserker would have crushed Tosaka if she hadn't blown his head off. Phew! I slow my frantic run. Tosaka is still in Berserker's grip, but the battle's over. Berserker's face is still hidden in a plume of smoke. From that singing sound, it must have been one hell of an explosion. No way. I hear Tosaka's voice. She's looking at the smoke in disbelief. Hold on. Am I imagining things? Did Berserker stand his hand tighten on Tosaka? Tosaka staring at the plume of smoke. It doesn't last long. The smoke starts to dissipate. And in the clearing air, Berserker's face, the face that should have been blown off his body, appears. Oh shit. Tosaka cowers under the evil demon's gaze, at a loss for words. Laughter fills the air. Elia, who's remained at the side of the clearing, laughs delightfully. Laughs delightedly. Remember what she said earlier? She must have figured something out from what Elia just told her. Tosaka looks aghast. Her face is twisting in regret. Yeah, I think we had those before. The sacred sword that represents King Arthur, England's King of Knights. Caliburn symbolizes the king whom the mage Merlin led to pull from the sword of appointment. It is as distinct from the sacred sword Excalibur bestowed by the Fairy of the Lake. It is, and its characteristics as a noble phantasm differ somewhat. However, Saber seems to be profoundly attached to the sword. Since swords are a symbol of power, the sword of kings have always been relegated to an ornate ceremonial role. This marks the largest difference between Excalibur and Caliburn. In exchange for its regal beauty, it is nowhere near as effective as a weapon as Excalibur. According to legend, Caliburn broke when King Arthur fought in a battle that violated the principles of chivalry. God Hand, 12 labors. A hidden ability. Become automatically resurrected raise in the event one dies. Raise has one stock of 11. In other words, Berserker will not disappear unless he is defeated 12 times. Rank B, anti-personnel, range, max targets one person, himself.
惜しかったわねリー。今のが5倍の宝石だったらバーサーカーは消えていたのに。
I can't hear Elia's voice clearly. From the corner of my eye, I see the Saber charging Berserker.
リン、逃げて。
Saber dashes over. Tosaka tries to open Saber's fingers, but they won't budge. And then
いいよバーサーカー。そいつ潰しちゃえ。
the burning eyes glare at Tosaka. Tosaka screams. Berserker's enormous fingers dig into Tosaka, trying to rip her out her insides. There's only one outcome. Tosaka's lifeless body being crushed to nothing. I run. I forget who I'm up against. I even forget where I am. My mind is completely burned out.
させるか。
Saber cuts towards Berserker. Her invisible sword swings at Berserker's defenseless arm, as if slicing through a radish. But it's no use. Saber's attack pings harmlessly off Berserker's arm. His grip on Tosaka doesn't loosen. Just moving must be agony for Saber. She swings her sword desperately, blood trickling from her mouth.
白。
She freezes the instant she sees me rushing at Berserker. Let go of her, you bastard! I slap mindlessly into the back, mindlessly at his back with my bow. The giant is unfazed. He doesn't consider me a threat. My fingers are getting numb. What the hell is he? If I'm the one going numb from hitting him.
逃げて。白。
Eh? I look up when I hear Saber. In that instant, I go flying through the air like a leaf. Gah! I hit the ground and tumble like a bit of stray garbage. Berserker smacked me away with a frozen sword. With that frozen sword, I try to block the attack with my bow, but it shatters instantly, and I'm thrown so far away. I writhe in pain. That breaking sound didn't come from the bow. One of my arms is bent at the wrong angle, in the wrong spot. When I breathe in, my lungs hurt so bad I want to puke them up. I can't breathe properly with all the blood flooding my mouth. But that doesn't matter. Breathing will just make me pass out. Better than I not breathe. I wake up. Right now, I need to get to him. I run. It's my turn. I'm going to break his arm and save Tosaka. He must have eyes in the back of his head. He swings his sword casually, like he's batting aside a fly. I can dodge it. I won't let an arm that's completely frozen and hit me so easily. Ha! Damn, my body's sinking. He must have grazed my leg. Damn him. He didn't even touch my leg, but he somehow managed to break it anyway. I can't do that. I can't let Tosaka die. What do I need to do to save her? A weapon, a blade, it would be best. With my feet broken, pieces, at my feet, broken pieces of a bow. Above me, the berserker's sword swinging right at me. There's no time to think. I let magical energy flow through me. Strengthening succeeds easily, but down berserker comes berserker's sword. The fragments are finally pulverized. I meant to dodge, but instead my body slams to the ground. Clearly, there is no point in strengthening broken shards. I'll have to do this from scratch. It shouldn't be impossible. Anyone can imitate as long as they have an example to follow. I just need to duplicate the foundation, structure, work, experience, time, and... The giant turns around. I must have decided to kill the little nuisance before finishing Tosaka off. I push up from the ground and glare at the giant. There's no fear. I'm too burned out for fear. But behind me... I see someone prepared to disappear. I see someone prepared to use the sacred sword. Just checking. Yeah, so I need to the wrong choice here will lead to to a bad end. Just checking. Yeah. Don't use it. Wind peels back from the blade. The golden sword begins to reveal itself in Saber's hand. I told her not to use it. The sword I told her never to use, no matter what. I snap. The last thread of what had been holding me together finally gives. Don't use it, Saber! My left hand burns. The command spell stroke disappears. I don't care. To hell with that. All I know is that if she uses it, she'll disappear. You're already on your last legs just from unleashing your sword. You can't use it right now. So just hold on. If you can't use your sword, I'll make it when you can use.
現実でかなわない相手なら想像の中で勝て。自身が勝てないのなら勝てるものを幻想しろ。
It's so obvious. It's the only thing I can do. I have to make it. I have to make something that won't lose. I have to imagine the strongest weapon. I have to imagine the ultimate imitation. It has to fool everyone, even me. It shouldn't be that hard. It's not something impossible. Since the beginning, my body has been a specialized magic circuit for this purpose alone. Hup! I leap up. Project Saber's sword. Projected Saber's sword. That could have popped up later. My entire body burns like it's on fire. My left hand is crimson. Saber's voice rings with shocked disbelief. She's staring at the weapon in my hands, at the thing that shouldn't exist. Oh. The sword seems to have a will of its own. Oh. The golden blade moves as if it's being drawn to the giant's arm. It slashes at him, tearing through the arm. Tosaka falls to the ground along with the arm that's been holding her. The golden sword shatters as if it had been made of glass. My blood begins to flow backward. It doesn't matter. The sword broke. That's impossible. If I imitated that sword, it shouldn't have shattered like that. It shattered because it wasn't sufficient. My image of the sword wasn't enough. Berserker's furious gaze turns toward me. His massive sword swings at me. This time, he's determined to cut me in half. It doesn't matter. Berserker, you're not my enemy right now. I'm only fighting against one person right now. The last one wasn't perfect. My image of it was flawed. The sword that should have been invincible broke. If I'm to duplicate things, I need to work on not just their shape, but also their maker. I hear the others holding their breath. In front of me, I see the axe sword rushing towards me, like an oncoming storm, and a half-formed sword ready to block it. In desperation, I try to use the sword to block the incoming blade, but that doesn't matter to me. Right now, I need to finish this blade and make it real. Another mistake. You're not fit for fighting, Shiromiya. Your battle is supposed to be a mental one, a fight against your own self. You don't have to remind me. What I need to do is simple. Projection, start. I concentrate. I'm challenging my own self. There can be neither deviation nor compromise. Determining creation ideology. Anticipating base essence. Duplicating material structure. Replicating the forger's skill. Resonating in the possessor's experience. Imitating the uncountable years. And surpassing every manufacturing process. Ah! Illusion shall blind, with reality to forge a sword. Fight music, let's go! The giant roars. The sword deflects the countless guts assailing me from the enemy's furious attacks. But that's about it. I'm knocked away from him. The moment I come to, the sword leaves everything to me. The attacks are blocked so easily. I blocked so easily a moment ago, now toss me around so effortlessly. I can't feel my arm. The skin on my wrist is blistered and red. I'm surprised I can even keep my grip on the sword. My legs do not work. I can only imagine every muscle shredded to ribbons. I can't get up. I made a sword that surpasses Berserker, but that's all. I'm just the one who made it. I can't wield the sword I worked so hard to make. Hey Nanalia, welcome to the stream. How was your day? Thanks for the redeems. A shadow looms over me. He must know who he has to kill first now. I rush away, and Berserker rushes after me with a gust of wind. His enormous sword swings towards me, but is deflected. In complete disbelief, I realize another hand is closing around my own. The air splits around me. The giant attacks with all his might, trying to destroy everything around him. But right before that happens... She's so close. I can hear her voice over the din. If Berserker is a Stormfront coming to attack me, Saber is a gale rushing to my side. Saber sprints over to me and twists around and gripping me firmly. The rock sword shatters. The golden flash explodes through the giant's axe sword and continues ahead, slicing through Berserker's rock-like body without slowing. Maybe I copied the form so well, I copied some of its abilities too. The golden sword lodges deep in Berserker's body and glows brilliantly. So brilliantly that light pours from the giant's body. And then, in an instant, the light fades and the forest falls silent. Excuse me. All the strength flees my limbs. The heat that had been surging through me rapidly cools. The sword I made begins to disappear. I watch it vacantly. Saber and I remain together, holding the sword in our hands until it disappeared completely. Wind sweeps through the clearing. The earth-shaking howl and the blade that had churned up the very air are gone. The previously invincible giant, now immobile, looks to the night to defeated him and speaks in a low, rumbling voice. That was Berserker! I forgot he talked!
これはカリバーン王を選定する岩の剣永遠に失われた私の剣ですが
今のは貴様の剣ではなかろう それはその男が作り上げた幻想に過ぎ。
Damn, I want him to talk in FGO now. Give us another class of Heracles so he can talk. Saber nods quietly.
線は長いもの。二度とは存在せぬ剣だ。だが、しかし。
Berserker's chest opens up. He begins to dissolve. His body begins to crumble like wet sand, beginning where the sword pierced him and rapidly expanding outward.
その幻想も侮れぬ。よもやただの一撃でこの身を7度滅ぼすとはな。
His dying words are spoken without emotion. The mad warrior keeps his role until his very end and fades away in a dispersing haze into the misty morning air. Dizziness rocks me where I stand. This is probably the price for such excessive use of magecraft. The blood that rages through me is putting pressure on my brain, spreading far too much oxygen out to the rest of my body. My head feels like it could split open. The enemy has disappeared, and whatever was numbing the pain earlier has faded. As if to make me pay the accumulated toll of this incredible battle, the dizziness and headache crashes into me like twin meteors.
シロ
I'm about to collapse, but Saber supports me. Saber shouldn't have the energy for that either at this point. No, I'm fine. I've got a few broken bones, but nothing fatal. I've got that healing thing, and it's already kicking in, so I'll be fine.
何を言うのです。あれだけの投影魔術を使ったのですから、今は休息を取らないと。
But there's someone I have to talk to first.
イリアスフィール
Saber stands ready. Ilya stares at where Berserker had been standing, her eyes hollow.
ちょうどいい。何のつもりかは知りませんが、追う手間が省けました。潔くここで。
No, Saber, don't hurt Ilya. Without Berserker, she's... I stop Saber with the last remaining strength I have. Ilya doesn't seem to notice we're here. She just stares at the ground.
嘘。まさか死んじゃったの？
She sounds like an abandoned child. Ilya lifts her head absent-mindedly. It happens suddenly. Ilya collapses like a puppet with its strings cut. What? I don't know what happened. I just stare at Ilya where she lies. All right, Rim was dying. At almost the same moment, Tosaka raises her hand, and it's like a middle finger, and she's going, "Fuck you! I'm here too, you know." She's free now that Berserker's arm disappeared. I must have loosened up at the moment I learned Tosaka was safe. My vision blurs, and I can feel my body trying to pass out. I can't show that kind of weakness. We may have defeated Berserker, but we're still in the forest. Weary as we are, we have to force ourselves to get out of the forest. I look up at the sky as it begins to lighten. The town is a long way away. All my allies are wounded, and every single inch of me burns. And yet, morning has come. We survived a night I was prepared not to. After defeating our greatest enemy, we leave the winter forest. February 12th. Internal level 4. Interval level 4. The sky was a pale gray. I'm actually going to take a bit of a break to check something. And if it's a food break, I'll let you guys know. So give me a sec, guys. No food break yet. Hello? Game? The sky was still pale gray. Was it dawn or dusk? It's hard to tell. The vast sky overhead and a wide field stretching out on all sides. The sky seemed close enough to touch. Clouds low enough to grab hold of. This was one of the battlefields she fought on, but there was no longer any cavalry in her service. The sprawling golden meadow was gone. Instead, unfolding under the dull sky was the remnant of the battlefield. No emotion. She must have seen this kind of thing almost daily. Her desolate heart was empty. As she leaned against the golden sword, she exhaled deeply and let her shoulders relax. The battle must have ended. After glancing over the bodies of the defeated soldiers, she returned to her camp. Those were the battles she experienced. Her cold, calm demeanor remained unchanged. No matter the predicament she's been in, she remained just like the woman I've always known. And then I see the dream of a king. The moment she drew the sword, she stopped being human. She took over for her father as a feudal lord and became a king with many knights. She was known as King Arthur, an Ultria, the life of a girl who once aspired to be a knight changing so radically. She acted like she was as the king's son, the ruler of territories, and knights had to be male. Only her father and the mage knew the king was female. She covered herself in iron and hid that truth for the rest of her life. There were those who had their suspicions. But the King of Knights, who wielded the sacred sword, knew neither injury nor age. Excalibur was blessed with the protection of the fairies, making its possessor immortal. Okay, I think that's the sign for me to take a food break. Give me a sec, guys. All right, I'm back. Jesus, how long was I away? I think I was away for like, if we're being generous, almost half an hour. Excalibur was blessed with the protection of the fairies, making its possessor immortal. As such, nobody questioned her tiny frame, which was much too small for a knight, or her face, which may have appeared girlish. Instead, she was hailed as a truly beautiful king. And in fact, the king was invincible. Neither size nor appearance mattered. Those who lived in fear of the savage invaders desired a strong king, and the valiant knights would follow only a truly superior leader. The king satisfied each of these conditions, and so nobody questioned the king's identity. And it did not matter if the king was a child or a woman. All that mattered was that the king protected the nation. The king was fair and selfless, and always stood on the front line, fighting and defeating the nation's enemies on the battlefield. Many enemies and citizens died, but the king was always just, and she played her role as king better than anyone else. There was no room to suspect otherwise, and any such suspicions would be pointless while the king was right in any case. She knew no defeat on the battlefield. Her army reformed the lost cavalry and then charged across the battlefield, defeating foreign infantry and smashing through their defenses. Did she always stand on the front lines because her nation was behind her? Before she headed out to battle, she had to cast aside any citizens. When she was on the battlefield, she had to cut down all her enemies. As her battles were fought in defense of her nation, it was common to wring villages dry to support the army. In that sense, no knight killed as many as she did. I can't tell if she ever really felt that burden. It's not something I can really know from a dream. But I do know she didn't have a moment of doubt or hesitation on the battlefield. Grief never touched her thoughts when she sat on the throne. A king is not human. Human emotions would make it impossible to protect people. She kept to her oath, never wavering. She addressed the issues facing her nation, and she worked on matters of political concern. She ruled without wavering, and she punished the deserving without error. And after winning so many battles, unifying so many clans, and punishing hundreds of criminals, King Arthur doesn't have a human heart. One of the knights in her entourage murmured this. Everyone must have felt the same way. The more perfect she carried herself as a king, the more everyone questioned their monarch. There is no way someone devoid of human emotion can rule humans. Several reputable knights left the White Castle of Camelot, but the king accepted this as inevitable and incorporated it into her rule. And so the fair king, once so admired by her knights, began to isolate herself. Such trivialities were of no concern to the king. Even if she was deserted, feared, or betrayed, her heart would remain unchanged. It couldn't be helped. The moment she took that sword, she abandoned her emotions. And then her final battle began. The Battle of Badon Hill ended in complete victory, and that in its capable conclusion led to the savage clan finally offering peace. The savage clans finally offering peace. And so the nation that had been holding its breath, waiting to be destroyed, knew a moment of peace. The age of warfare, where a nation leaned on a singular hero, came to an end. Britain was finally going to become a nation she always dreamed of. The scene starts to fade away. I realize the dream is ending and I'm about to wake up. I can feel myself drifting closer to wakefulness. But before that happens, something really pissed me off. She's stupid. Oh, she's strong and a gifted fighter, but there's a difference between being good at fighting and being cut out for it. The people around her pissed me off too. If she didn't notice it, someone else around her should have told her, or she would go on making the same mistake forever. Seriously, how the hell did she have so many people around her and not one told her the truth? I wake up. We escaped Elia's forest and returned home yesterday afternoon. Tosaka went back to her room, complaining her stomach hurt, and my headache wasn't getting any better, so we all decided to just go to sleep. I must have been in the extra weight. It must have been the extra weight I was lugging around. As soon as I got to bed, I couldn't get back up. Saber was the only one who seemed fine, and Tosaka and I left her to guard the house while we slept. And then... So I slept half a day. At least my headache's gone. I'm relieved. The whole thing with Berserker. The headache I got after copying Saber's sword was unreal. If I had kept up, my head might have just split down the middle. Then I notice. Huh? Saber is sitting on the floor right next to my head. Saber, why are you glaring at me like that first thing in the morning? Did something happen while I was asleep? Hmm? Saber gets up and heads silently out of my room. What was that about? I don't know why Saber's acting strange. I'm really not sure, but if she's sitting by my bedside the whole time, if she was sitting by my bedside the whole time, was she nursing me back to health? The moment that I have that thought, the scene of last night comes back to me. But what the hell am I thinking? I shake my head and rid myself for those impure thoughts. That night, my contract with Saber was entirely about my duty as a master. If I don't rationalize it like that, I will never be able to look at Saber again. Calm thoughts. We acted normal when we were coming home yesterday. That's all I needed to do. No, I was actually just tired yesterday, but I still need to act normal. Besides, Saber wouldn't like me acting like this. Okay, I just need to calm down and make breakfast. I take a deep breath and get changed. It's 9 in the morning. Saber hasn't eaten since lunch yesterday, so she must be hungry. 9 is so late, it's practically not even morning anymore. As hungry as Saber must be, I should probably make a hearty breakfast. No, everyone's still asleep. Considering what had happened yesterday, it's probably best to let them sleep. I'll leave their food out so they can eat whenever they like. I know, I feel better now, so let's head to the dojo once we finish eating.
道場に行くとはまだ私と剣の鍛錬を続けるのですか？
You almost died, you fucking moron! It's not like I don't care about you or anything. Fucking idiot! Why not? It's our daily routine. What's wrong, Saber? Did I say something weird?
あ、いえ。もう鍛錬はしないのだろうと勝手に思い込んでいました。バーサーカーが倒れた今、シローがそこまで必死になる理由はなくなったのではないかと。
I see. You know, you may be right. The common enemy we all share in Berserker is gone now. We teamed up to make an enemy far stronger, to take on an enemy far stronger than us, and that's why I trained furiously in such a short period of time. But I'd like to keep training. I'm still an untrained mage, and I get to see the real you when you wield a sword. That makes it easier for me to talk to you too. Well, I say easy, but what I mean is that I kind of enjoy it.
はあ、道場での私は本音を出しているのでしょうか？
You sure do. At least you don't hold back. I prefer it that way. Besides, I think you get loosened up as well. Anyway, our routine has us sparring in the morning, and don't take the few pleasures I have. I take the ground beef and pork, green onions, mushroom, onions, and eggs out of the refrigerator and head to the kitchen. All I need is panko, sake, and cooking oil.
はあ、そういうことでしたら、私も反論はありませんが。
Saber mumbles quietly to herself in the living room while I work. I can't quite hear what she's saying from the kitchen. Smack, smack, pound, pound. I mix onions, panko, sake, egg, flour, salt and flour, and flour, bleh. I mix onions, panko, egg, salt, and salt with flour, with 400 grams of ground beef and pork, and knead it all together. I've decided to be bold today, so I'm making stewed Japanese-style Hamburg steak for breakfast.
リン、目が覚めたのですか？
Saber's voice drifts out from the living room. Tasaka? I glance back over my shoulder as I cook.
おはよう。ごめん、牛乳飲ませて、シロ。
I feel like I was almost crushed in a giant hand. Oh, wait. Tosaka comes in, looking grumpy, and grabs a carton of milk from the fridge.
寝すぎて頭痛い。あれ？何？朝から凝ってるじゃない。
Where'd that grumpy face she'd been making a second ago go? Her eyes are practically sparkling now.
へえ、美味しそう。ちょうどお腹も減ってたし、助かったわ。
Food! Is that so? Well, she's the one who gets to enjoy herself here, not me. Reminds me of what my old man used to say. Someone gains, someone else loses. I thought this before, but you've got a keen eye.
あら、人並みに目端が利くだけよ。それじゃあ、私の分もよろしくね。
She waves as she heads back to the living room. With a glass of milk in one hand, Tosaka plops down at the table. Seriously. I don't know where she gets off acting like king of the castle in my house.
だらけていますね、リン。
Yeah, way to go, Saber. She's saying everything I wish I could. However, Tosaka dismisses Saber's criticism nonchalantly by just agreeing with her.
そりゃだらけもするわよ。 バーサーカーがいなくなった今、あとはキャスターとランサーとアサシンでしょ。バーサーカーに比べたら大した敵じゃないし、今のセーバーなら余裕で撃退できるじゃない。
それは分かりません。ランサーもアサシンも一筋縄で行く相手ではない。キャスターに至ってはまだ出会ってもいないではないですか。
謙遜謙遜。アーサー王の手にかかっちゃそんじょそこらの英霊なんて10羽一からげでしょ。
Who said that?
今までは魔力不足で嘆いてたけど、それも解決したし、今のセイバーに対抗できるサーバントなんて一人もいないわ。
Saber narrows her eyes at Tosaka. I have the same reaction. We shouldn't let what Tosaka said there just go by. Tosaka, do you know who Saber is?
うすうすね。確信が持てたのは昨日よ。あれだけの聖剣を扱える英雄なんて一人しかいないもの。まあ伝説のアーサー王が女の子っていうのには驚いたけど、目の前にいるんじゃ信じるしかないじゃない。それに伝説なんて都合よく改ざんされたものでしょ。
Not wrong. I think there's at least 3 different versions of like Atalanta's story alone.
セイバーが隠したのか周囲が隠したのか知らないけど、確かに中世の王様が女の子ってのは都合が悪いものね。そりゃ誰が何と言おうと男として扱うわよ。
Tosaka's tone remains the same. Saber at least doesn't seem to mind. If anything, she seems to agree with Tosaka. She certainly doesn't seem about to argue. She's basically acknowledged the fact. A hero with a connection to the sword is selected to be the Saber Serpent. Based on that alone, she would absolutely make for the best saber. The heroic symbol of Britain. The wielder of the sacred sword, so famous she's even known in this faraway land. But then, what of it? The legend of King Arthur ends with the king's death. Even heroes are still human. Their stories usually end in death, but no hero dies as a proper death. King Arthur was no exception. If I remember correctly, King Arthur died in battle. At the Great Battle of Cumberland. After unifying Britain and supposedly having no more foreign enemies to defeat, King Arthur was drawn into conflict with an unexpected enemy in the end. It was the treachery of her own army, the knights she vowed to protect and fought alongside for so long, that led to King Arthur's death. King Arthur defeated the army's leader, but took a fatal wound in the battle, and so entrusted her only surviving knight, Bedivere, with the task of returning the sacred sword to where it belonged. Travel across the bloody battlefield and over the hill. You will find a deep lake. Throw this sword into that lake. But Bedivere did not fulfill that final duty. Fearing the implications of losing the sword, Bedivere falsely reported not once, but twice, that he had thrown it into the lake. Each time, King Arthur once more ordered Bedivere to throw the sword away. Finally, on his third attempt, Bedivere was able to fulfill the king's wishes. It is said that King Arthur died after making certain that the sword had been returned.
それよりシロ、あんたこれからどうする気よ。
Tosaka suddenly turns to glare at me. What do you mean plan to do?
だから和室で寝てる物騒な子供のことよ。放っておけって言ったのに、ここまで連れてきたのはあんたじゃない。
それについては私も言いたい。バーサーカーを失ったとはいえ、イリアスフィールは危険なマスターだ。 それを保護するなどシロはどうかしています。
そうそう、あんなのは綺麗に預けちまえばいいのよ。
The two glare at me as one. That's right. The moment Berserker disappeared, Ilya fainted. She showed no sign of waking up, and I couldn't just leave her, so I brought her back home. Of course, Tosaka and Saber objected, so I carried her myself. A master who loses their servant either flees before another master kills them, or is protected by the church. Tosaka said we should let Kotomine take care of her, but I don't think that priest would take very good care of Ilya, so I'm having her stay in one of our spare rooms.
シロ、あなたの考えは立派ですが、イリアスフィールに関わるのは危険です。今ならまだ間に合う。早々に教会に預けるか、その令状を剥奪するべきだ。
Saber's serious. Changing her mind won't be easy. Do you have a problem? We couldn't just leave her alone. Ilya's just a kid. She wasn't herself. I feel bad leaving her with Kotomine.
かわいそう。あんたね、あの子にあんな目に遭わされて、まだそんな寝ぼけたこと言うわけ？
I mean, she did try to kill us.
同感です。シロはイリアスフィールに感情移入しすぎています。彼女は何度もシロを殺そうとしたではないですか。
The two are more united than ever. But I need to stand my ground. Ilya was our enemy, but she never had any malice for us. As long as she has a good influence, she won't do any more harm. And I said this at the start. I'm not fighting to kill masters. I'm fighting to end the battle.
それは分かってはいますが。
Saber's tone softens, though she's clearly not convinced. But
そう。それじゃあイリアスフィールのしたことを全部許すっていうの？言っとくけど、あの子は私たち以外のマスターも襲っている。もしかしたらもう何人かマスターを殺しているかもしれない。それでもあなたは助けてやるっていうのね。
well, yeah. Ilya admitted she killed Shinji after I let him go. Shinji used Ryder to try and kill everyone at school. If that's what she did as a master, I suppose his death was inevitable. But Shinji was a friend of mine for years, and thinking of Sakura, I can't just write off what Ilya did. But that means there's no chance at closure. Even if Ilya is no longer a master, as long as she can reflect, can feel remorse, I think we should save her.
そうね。それは正しい。けどシロ、私はアーチャーのことを帳消しにする気はないの。私のアーチャーはあいつに殺されたんだから。
We're at an impasse here. We all freeze, staring at each other. But then...
何よ。サーバントなんて最後にはみんな消えちゃうじゃない。そんなこと気にしてるなんて、マスター失格ね、リン。
The very girl under discussion appears.
イリアスフィール。
待ちなさい。あなたたちに用はないわ。戦う気もないから、そんなに生きり立たないでくれない？ほんと、同じレディーとして恥ずかしいわ。私よりずっと年上なのに、たしなみってものがないんだから。
Ilya shrugged, looking disgusted.
なんですって？
Saber and Tosaka are once again in sync. A whole new kind of intensity comes over them.
ああ、それも怒らないであげる。今はあなたたちに構ってる場合じゃないもの。
Ilya turns from them to face me. Eh? Ilya,
礼を言います。セイバーのマスター。 敵であった我が身まで気遣うその心遣い、心より感謝いたしますわ。
Huh? I stare at Ilya in disbelief. So sudden is this that even Saber goes quiet. Tosaka just keeps drinking her milk, giving Ilya the stink eye. And then, Ilya smiles that familiar smile of hers.
なんてね。やっぱりシロはお兄ちゃんだ。
She launches herself right at me and hugs me around the neck. She is adorable when she's not in murder child mode. Her. Tosaka spits out her milk. What the? I can almost hear the vein popping in Saber's forehead. And he still has that stoic expression. She's like, I will not get mad, I will not get mad, I will not get mad, I will not get mad. Oh, fuck it. Saber rushes towards me. Ilya twists around and swings to my back.
無礼者はどっちよ。サーバントのくせに私に意見しようなんて100年早いわ。
あなたに従う義務もなければ意思もありません。減らず口を言う暇があるなら今すぐ城から離れなさい。
そんなの聞かないよーだ。ねえシロ、昨日みたいにしよう。あれ本部って言うんだよね。
Ilya spins around me. Saber hurries after her, trying to catch her. This is bad. What especially as bad is what especially is bad? Well, it's just bad. The two can't stop glaring at each other. It must be because Tosaka is just watching from afar, but she just wipes the milk off her mouth as if nothing is happening and says,
どうでもいいんだけどね、二人とも。そのままだとそいつ死ぬわよ。
The two peer curiously at me. It's pretty clear. My neck's getting wrenched around, and I now face the greatest danger of my life. Okay, let's review the current situation before I die again. The hamburg steak I've been working on so hard is packed away in the freezer. First, there's Tosaka. She's being relatively quiet. She seems to be keeping a straight face and looks like she's just going to watch things play out. But who can say what she might be thinking to herself?
何シロ。
Ilya's sitting next to me, and for some reason she looks like she's in a good mood. She looks curiously around the living room and doesn't look like... But it doesn't look like Saber or Tosaka are much concerned to her. Whatever either of them might say is likely to go in one ear and out the other. And then there's the one I'm most concerned about. Saber. She's glaring anxiously at both me and Ilya. She's not usually so fidgety and restless. It seems like I'm having. It seems like I'm resting on a bed of nails. So I can't leave things like this. I don't know what's going to come of this, but I have to do something about the situation. Let's settle this. If we keep this up, it'll drag out until lunch.
そうね。結論は決まっているし、問題は早めに片付けた方がいいわ。そうでしょ、セイバー。
そうですね。私とリンの意見は同じですから、 あとはシローに納得してもらうだけですが。
Saber is really digging her heels in.
ねえシロ、リンとセイバーは何を話したがってるの？
Oh, they want to talk about what we should do with you. You lost your servant, so we want to know what you plan to do from now on.
そんなの決まってるでしょ。教会に保護させるか森の城に追い返すのよ。どちらにしたってここにいさせる選択肢はないからね。シロもそう思ってるの？
Ilya looks at me, her face emotionless. Okay, checking. We're going to protect Ilya. Kurtsuga always told me to protect girls, and I don't like seeing kids suffer. Well, I think Ilya should stay here. The Holy Grail War isn't over. I want to shelter Ilya until the last of the Masters are taken care of.
シロがそう言うんなら私もここにいてあげるね。
Hey, Ilya, you're choking me! I can't breathe! I intend to pry Ilya from me, but before I get the chance, Saber steps over and does it for me.
何よ、さっきから邪魔ばっかりして。あなた、私に恨みでもあるの？
当然でしょう。その身がシローに何をしたか私は忘れることなどない。シローもシローです。イリアスフィールをかくまうなど百害あって一理なしとわからないのですか。
What about it? Ilya doesn't have a servant anymore, and she's not dangerous. She's no longer a master. Besides, how would you feel if she got attacked after we abandoned her? Ilya's life would be in danger, and other masters might gain power from her.
それはそうですが、しかし。
Saber hesitates. No matter what she says, Saber understands that another master might attack Ilya if we leave her alone.
じゃあ次はこっちの番ね。セイバーを陥落したところ悪いけど、私はまだ説得されてないわ。いいシロ。そいつはまだマスターなのよ。サーバントを失っても、霊樹がある限り、マスターはマスターだって教えたでしょ？
She says that. Tosaka just butts in while she sips her tea. Eh? Hey, what is that supposed to mean, Tosaka?
だから、霊樹さえ残っていれば、サーバントとは何人でも契約できるのよ。主のいないはぐれサーバントがいて、かつマスターにそのはぐれサーバントを許容できるキャパシティさえあれば、何人とだって契約はできるわ。
What the heck? So if there's a compatible master around, and they can form contracts with as many servants as they want?
何人でもってわけじゃないわ。聖杯の力で呼び出せる英霊は7人が限度だから、最大でも7人ね。もっともどんなに優れた魔術師だって複数のサーバントを具現化させる魔力なんてないわ。あるとしても、その場合は10の魔力を5に分けて2人のサーバントを刺激することになる。そうなるとサーバントの能力は下がるから、複数のサーバントと契約する旨味はないけどね。
I see. So if I formed a contract with Saber and Berserker, they would have to split my magical energy between them to maintain their existence, which would drastically weaken both of them. That means it would make more sense to keep one servant and supply them with magical energy. Now that you mention it, didn't you say servants could change masters? Is this what you meant?
あら、珍しく勘がいいじゃない。シローの言う通り、サーバントがマスターを変えるっていうのはそういうことよ。マスターを失ったサーバントは消えるまでいくらか猶予がある。で、その間に他にサーバントを欲しがっているマスターを探して契約すれば元通りってわけ。だからリンに気を許しちゃダメよ、シロー。そいつだってまだマスターなんだから。シローを殺してセイバーを奪うかもしれないし、まだ生きてるサーバントと再契約するかもしれないわ。
She is really turning that around, goddamn!
そう。それはあんたにそっくりお返しするわ、イリア。そんなことないもん。私、他のサーバントとなんて組まない。イリアのサーバントはずっとバーサーカーだけなんだから。
She's very adamant about that. I don't know what kind of relationship Ilya and Berserker had, but I do know that that servant was special to her. That is a surprise, but at the same time, it makes me happy. I'm happy to know that despite the fact that as Master, Ilya was relentless, she still cherished her partner.
あ、でもシローが負けちゃったら、セイバーは私がもらうわ。私はシロー以外のマスターが勝つのは認めない。でも、もしシローが負けちゃったら、私が代わりに勝ってあげるんだから。
And Saber's like, what? Ilya says that proudly, just as she was starting to impress Saber and Tosaka.
バカなことを言わないでほしい。私はシローのサーバントです。あなたのサーバントになるつもりはありません。
別にそれでも構わないわ。私はシローに勝ってもらえればそれでいい。私が勝つのも、セイバーがシローを守ってくれるのも、どうせ最後は同じだもの。
Huh? What a weird thing to say. Actually, if she wants me to win, why would she think like that anyway? And then, Tosaka must have found it strange too. She starts to think.
私は構います。ともかく私は認めません。リン、あなたからもシローに忠告してください。
ごめんなさい。聞いてなかったわ。もう一度言って、セイバー。
ですから、イリアスフィールをここにかくまうのは反対だということです。
ああ、それいいんじゃない？別にかくまうぐらいなら。
I mean, she is kind of cute when she's not trying to kill people.
は？
Saber freezes. I had advocated for this, and even I'm surprised. I don't blame the opposing Saber for being frozen in shock.
リン、あなた、正気ですか？
ええ、冷静に考えてみればリスクはどっちも同じなのよ。イリアを一人にするのも、ここでかくまうのも、教会に預けるのも変わらない。いえ、むしろイリア目当てでマスターが来てくれた方が助かるわ。今のセーバーなら他のサーバントが束になっても負けっこない。聖杯戦争を終わらせるならその方が手っ取り早いし、それはあなただって望むところでしょ、セイバー。
Shouldn't that be, it would be hard?
ま、あなたが他のサーバントに負けるって言うんなら話は変わるけど。
まさか今の私がどのような状態かリンなら分かっているでしょう。
They really should have proofread this translation.
私に敗北などありえません。
でしょ？ ならイリアをかくまうのも問題ない。それに気になることもある。シローの選択はもしかしたらとんでもない妙手だったのかもしれないわ。
Tosaka goes quiet. She must have convinced Saber, who reluctantly takes a step back from Ilya. We finish breakfast and move to the dojo. Tosaka goes back to her own room while Saber follows me. As for Ilya...
ねえ、本当に剣の鍛錬なんかするの?
She follows me to the dojo, like we're joined at the hip.
私、今日はシローと遊べると思って楽しみにしてたんだよ。なのにセイバーなんて邪魔者はいるし、ここ寒いし、つまんないよ。
After this scene, we'll probably end stream. Well, I'm not surprised Delia thinks this is boring. Watching someone train isn't what I call exciting.
ねえ、今に戻ろう。強くなりたいなら、私がシローの力になってあげる。
Ilya takes one of my hands in both of hers and tries to tug me away from the dojo. But at least in this, I can't. But at least in this, I can't indulge Ilya. No, I can't, Ilya. I train every day, so I can't miss today. I'm not a proper mage, so I need to work hard to be ready to fight. Besides, if I train, I can protect you too, Ilya. I decided to shelter you here, so I should train to help. So I should train to help me do just that.
それはそうかも。けど私、シローに守られなくてもいいんだけどな。シローはお兄ちゃんなんだから、一緒にいてくれるだけでいいんだもん。
Faces! It seems I failed to convince her. Ilya tugs more aggressively at my hand. Saber watches silently all the while. Her eyes burn into the pair of us. She must not approve of Ilya being here, and is being more than a little cold toward her. And then our eyes meet. Good timing. I'll ask for Saber's opinion. I said I can't. Tell her, Saber. Tell her I train with you every day.
私に言うべきことなどありません。イリアスフィールを連れてきたのはシローです。彼女に言い聞かせるのはシローの役割で、私の責務には含まれていませんから。
You handle it, bucket. I don't know why, but I get she's really ticked now.
なんだ、セイバーもよくわかってるじゃない。剣の鍛錬なんてしなくていいのよ。残ってるのは雑魚ばっかりなんだから、そんなの必要ないもの。ねえシロ、他のマスターなんてセイバーに任せて、私たちは外で遊ぼう。
Whoa, hey, slow down! I lose my balance and feel myself being tugged towards the dojo's exit. Hey, no, let go, Ilya. I'm not going to indulge you this time. I'm not skipping my sword training. I'm going to stick to it. Sure, you might think it's boring, but I enjoy it. And if you're going to complain, then go wait in the living room. I shake her off violently. She obviously didn't expect me to fling her away like that. Ilya backs off, surprised, then looks at me nervously. Crap. I should have been nicer about it. Sorry, Ilya, I was too rough with you, but I'm not going to give up my sword training. And I'm sorry to leave you alone, but please stay in the living room. Ilya sulks away towards the entrance, but stops by the wall. Hmm?
いいわ。ならここで見てる。それなら文句ないんでしょ。
Ilya suddenly roars in defiance. She glares our way, pitching a small tantrum. Well, I don't mind, but it's cold in the dojo, and there's tea and snacks in the living room for you.
私がいいって言ってるんだ
Ilya huffs and turns her nose up. Oh well, you're more than welcome to go back to the living room if you get bored. At least things have settled down. I take Tushi and I leaning against the wall and turn to face Saber. Then let's begin. It's been 3 days, so I might be a little rusty. Hey, are you okay, Saber? You look a little dazed. Do you have a fever?
いえ、別にそういうことではないのですが。
Saber turns away from Ilya, furiously shaking her head. So, are you all right? Let's begin. Here's your shinai.
いえ、投げていただければ結構です。あまり不用意に近づかれては困ります。私たちは剣の鍛錬をするのですから。
That's what I've been saying. What else would we be doing, Saber? A little confused, I tossed the shinai to her. Besides, I never once landed a strike on Saber. I've never gotten close to being within striking range of her, so Saber telling me not to come close seems odd. Saber takes the shinai I taught her a bit awkwardly, then lets out an audible sigh.
それでは始めましょう。今までとは勝手が違いますが、平静を保つようにしろ。
Saber glances at Ilya as she speaks. I'll be fine. Once we have started, nothing will bother me. I grip my shinai and focus on Saber. She stands in front of me, shinai in hand. Now my attention is fixed only on her. That is where we're going to stop for today. All right, then. So, yeah, Berserker is down. Despite us almost dying again. It's too bad we never get to see the fight in the original visual novel, but I get why. We'll see in another route. Okay, so let us get a raid going. Rue's playing Minecraft. Frosty playing Hero in Trials of Cold Steel. Victor's playing Final Fantasy 16. Let's raid Ashino. It's been a while. Oh, I can't raid her? Okay, let's raid Rue then. Alright, so thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. If you like my stuff and you haven't already, please leave a follow. It helps me as a small VTuber. I upload all my stuff on YouTube, and you can also check my socials down there. So, tomorrow, we will begin our new training arc in Hollow Knight. So we can train and to beat the rest of the soul bosses and get the other stuff. So thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all on the next one. This is Metis Balaska signing out.